What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Man, we got a good one for tonight. You guys get ready. We're going to shoot it out to some people. All right. We're going to have some fun. Fun. Let's see. Good one. Grab something to sip on. Fun topic. All right, you guys stay tuned. Man. Cool. Hey, Maya, how you doing tonight? Renee, how you doing? Welcome in. 100 Podcast. We got a good one for tonight. Let everybody get in real quick here. Grab something to sip on. Do something to sip on. Lisa, what's good? J-Dub, what's up? Cheers. Oh, definitely cheers, man. Tam, what's good? I got mine right here, man. Cheers. What you drinking on, Jazz? What you drinking on? Man. I always look like somebody. I look like this guy right here. Man. Oh, let me. Hater. All right, let me flip this over. Man, this is a good topic for tonight. We're just waiting for waiting for the crowd to come on in. So we chilling. We're chilling for a minute. Don't forget to like and share. Like and share. Yeah. See, it might give me a direct plug in. There we go. There. I wasn't plugged in. Okay. Like and share. Send it out to your friends, guys. Send it out to your friends. There goes Godmother.
Hey, what's up?
Man, what's up, man? You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
What's your day?
Busy working, getting it in, but everything is good.
You know, that's how the grind goes, man.
Oh yeah, do.
That's how
Mm-hmm.
the grind goes.
Yep.
Good to see you, though.
Same here.
You in the office? You done made it home?
I'm in the office.
Hey,
In the office, that's for sure.
man, you the hardest working woman in real estate.
Yeah, well, smart is working. It's gonna get it all since we're here.
There we go. Appreciate the heart me.
Oh yeah, of course. What's the
Yeah.
subject for tonight?
Oh, man. Navigating a long distance relationship. Love across the miles.
Oh boy,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
that's the
yeah.
one.
It's definitely a one. I tell you. Man,
Mm-hmm.
how's the family doing, man?
Everybody good.
Pretty good.
Thank the Lord. Mm-hmm.
Amen. Deidre, what's good, sis? What's good? What's good? Welcome in. Welcome in. Oh, that's good, man. Craig, I thought about Craig the other day.
Oh yeah, I know I did too. I was gonna go out by his house today. I got a listing out in the same neighborhood, but I didn't stop. So I'll probably go over there tomorrow because whenever he come, he talks so much until it just.
Oh, so because he done left Atlanta, right?
Yeah, a couple of years ago. He over in Bluffton.
Okay, okay, that's what's up.
Yep. So he he good. They good.
That's what's up.
Yep.
Deidre, you getting ready for work or you off today? You chilling? I understand, love. I understand. Lady E, what's good? What's good? Or as I may say, roll tide. But thank you for the heartbeat. Well, look, Deidre, I know if you got to take a nap, you got to take a nap. But where your best friend at? He around? I know I shared it to him. Um, well, before you roll, if you don't mind, shoot it out to, some peoples and whatnot. As normal. Um, unfollow and follow me. Oh, you just talked to him? Okay, tell him to get on over here. Unfollow and follow, so we get that going real quick. But definitely, if you need to go take that nap, definitely go take that nap. Um, you know, um, I'll definitely upload it to my YouTube so that everybody can catch it if you didn't catch it tonight, because tonight's a good topic. Navigating a long distance relationship, love across the miles. Thank you for the heart, me. Thank you for the heart, me. I know Peachy Tay gonna come on in a little bit. She's handling business in the office as well. She got her Mary Kay meeting going on, so she'll jump in after that.
What about Marcel?
I don't know.
Marcel.
I haven't seen her on here in a minute.
Oh, okay.
The topic for tonight is oh, okay, you got it now. I'm catching up on tape. I don't know. I've been shooting it out to her or whatever, but I guess she probably had other stuff going on or whatever. So I don't know. I'll shoot it out to her again. Oh, let me see if I can see. I see her again. There you go, that country girl. All right. Yeah, we got a good one for tonight, man.
Yeah, she got a couple of names anyway, though, right?
Yeah, you know it. You know D Nice,
I don't think so.
Mr. Darnell 456.
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. D Nice or D who? Darnell, Ram Diddy from Allendale.
Okay, Mr. Darnell 456. I guess he had
Oh,
just
no.
sent the. Let
I
me see.
think he is D Nice on here.
I just brought him up. That's who it is.
People. Hello, my good people. Can
Yeah,
y'all hear me?
this is who this
Yeah,
is. Hey, people, what's up?
Is this where you're giving away some money or
Yes,
uh
yes. How much would you like?
ma'am, I need $100 if
That's,
just
no,
for start.
ask for what you want because you're gonna get the same answer. Go ahead, come on.
Just never mind then. My goodness.
I'm just saying, he over here making all this money over here
Check him
anyway.
out, Mr. Bowers. How you doing, bro?
What's good, man? Who am I talking to, man?
You
I just
probably you know what? I feel like we went to school together. How old are you now? If you don't mind me asking.
48.
48. Yeah, we were in school together. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's from Allendale. He used to talk to Yante Crumley a long time ago.
Oh, my cousin. Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
that's your cousin. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
man. Okay. Let me add you on here, man. Follow you and whatnot. So,
Yeah, so what we doing? What we doing tonight? I'm
yo,
at work.
man, this is the
He always
100
that.
100 podcast. This is a relationship podcast, man. And the topic for tonight is navigating a long distance relationship. Love across the miles. You
Oh
know?
wow.
Yeah, man. Because You know, it's a real thing. Like my girl Deidre just said, she said she might have to stay awake for this one because
How
she
come
was
it's
ready to take a nap.
Miss Washington on here though? If this is about relationships.
Hey, look, she's on here
What you,
faithfully.
what you trying to say,
Oh, she's on
Darnell?
here faithfully?
Faithfully.
What are you?
I'm sure she has a pad and pen too. We can't see though.
No,
Yeah, call her out.
I give the advice. It's not you hating Darnell.
Nah. I think you do you do give good advice though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, she official, man. She
Of course,
rocks
yeah. I'm
out.
just joking with her. You don't know how me and her get down. We
Oh,
we
yeah.
clown each other.
All the time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Man,
That's
ain't
awesome.
nothing wrong with that. We
Yeah.
all clown around on here. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's
Very
all,
intelligent. Very intelligent.
oh yeah.
Yes, exactly.
I rock with Miss Washington. All right.
Yeah,
Right.
man. I
For
appreciate
many
it.
years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to share out the live, Darnell.
I gotta
Share the live.
Okay, so what I gotta do then?
This button
I gotta tap my square.
no, tap the part that got the arrow
Tap the part that has the arrow.
at the bottom on the right,
Okay.
next to the gift, and then all your friends should pop up, and then you can share it. To them.
Yeah.
Or if they wanna chime in on
Yeah, chime
the
in.
Yeah.
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 I'm not
Big
too
guy,
sure
what's up,
anybody
What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
Man,
What's
chilling,
going
man,
on?
chilling.
All right.
Yes. Yeah, this
Man, how
is
you feeling today, bro?
Tired, man. Tired.
Hey, man. Man, hey, look, I appreciate you jumping on, man. I know everybody kind of tired and stuff.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do this tonight, man. But then, not doing it tomorrow because tomorrow's our anniversary. So we're gonna be doing our thing tomorrow. So
Oh,
how
man, that's
many
great.
years?
we got, you know, people always ask us how many years, right?
Well,
Oh,
I know the story. I'm just talking about how many years married. What's the
5,
anniversary, y'all?
5.
No, that's right.
We had the
Okay.
nipple. We got the nipple.
Congratulations.
Hey, man,
That's
I
big.
appreciate it.
That's big,
That's
boy.
what's
It's
up.
big.
Oh yeah, that's a milestone. It's a
Yeah, it
milestone,
is.
man.
Yeah, it is.
So, you know,
It,
hey,
it is a milestone. Congratulations. Story I
hey,
got
appreciate
planned.
it. Man, you know, we actually gonna do a staycation, man, because we got the grandkids and stuff here or whatever. So we're not
Oh,
able to
okay.
really travel how we want. So we're gonna kind of do something here, and then, you know, our daughters are looking out for us and helping us out with the kids. While we take a little getaway, just you know, me and the wife just get away for a couple days and just wing it, man. We honestly just winging it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't.
Spare the moment.
It's yeah. We not. We it's you know we got of course we got like a nice room to kind of just get away, and then we'll figure out some nice place to have dinner. Um, do some crafty stuff, and probably go do some shopping, which my wife will
Oh,
help.
definitely. All right. Okay.
You know,
Shopping is good.
yeah, shopping is good. Go spend a couple dollars. You know,
Yeah, yeah. Can't take it with you.
no, can't take it with you. Might as well go and just spend a little
Yeah.
bit.
I know that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
For sure.
yes, man.
Well,
Yeah.
you talking about the kids gonna help y'all out with the grandkids. I'm on the floor. Them turn. But that's how it
Hey,
is. I'm gonna get excited when I get my grandkids too. It's all about mine. All about me and my grandbabies. I get
that's
it.
what I'm trying to say.
Oh, that's what you said. Somebody they gonna help y'all out. I was on the floor. You were serious too.
Oh no. This see that now that's not mama. This is the aunties of the grandbaby.
Oh, the aunties. Oh, I thought you said that. I thought
Aunties
you
are
said.
gonna help out. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
aunties
You said
gonna
it.
help out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
We appreciate the
Yeah, that's that.
aunties.
Yeah, we do. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Always appreciate the village. But
Got my
Donna,
other
you on
and the other
you
auntie
on
on here.
lunch?
She need to.
Yeah, I gotta get back, but I would love to maybe catch y'all the next go around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no doubt, man. I mean, I don't know how long you gonna be on, at work or whatnot, man. But we'll be on for a little
He,
second.
he work at the post office and they always working. He always working.
My
Oh,
goodness, just tell everybody.
hey man, well, hey, you at the post
Yeah.
office? Oh man,
Hey,
let me
what's
on.
up? I mean, well, that's a secret. That's
Well, for me, yeah.
oh boy, relax. I mean, it sounds like you got a high profile like the Godmother. Good, relax. Well,
Check me
speaking
out.
of,
My goodness. Hey, look,
Hey man, don't
see,
downplay that man. What he do,
Mr. Bowers, this is what I go through, man.
dude? Look,
but
I
he be
get this
right there
every
for it.
week.
He be right there for it though.
Every week, man.
Hey, I'm
Don't.
coming up there. I'm coming up there Monday though. I'm telling you now, because you like to say I tell you last minute. I'm being up there Monday, Donna.
Well, I'm gonna be at work, so I don't know about any donuts. I'm just letting you know now.
Oh, you already know the drill. Let's cash at me that. You know.
Hey, I appreciate the heart meal. Hey, well, brother, do this for me. Grab that heart meal up at the top, right by my name. Grab the
Yeah.
daily heart meal.
Where it says join.
Yeah, hit that.
Okay.
Get the daily heart
Okay.
meal.
Does it say
All right.
that?
Appreciate the roses. Appreciate the
Are you following him
Oh
or
yeah.
not?
No, I think I am because
Yeah,
now
he
that I
just sent
know
me a
him.
follow and I sent him one back. So
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Let me know. I might can give somebody a pointer or two.
Ah,
You never know.
You
Might be a
never
little
know.
ignorant here and there, but I bet you that out of 10 people, 3, maybe 4
maybe
think the
four.
way I think. Maybe 4 out of 10.
Probably so. More like one.
Zaza
That's okay.
Monet, what's good, girl? How you doing today?
Yeah,
All right, let me catch y'all again.
all right,
All
Don.
right.
Have a good night.
Yo, appreciate you.
All right, baby.
Okay.
All right now.
Man. Oh man. Yeah, I'm trying to see where my son at because this topic is really geared around him because he asked me to do this in a way because he's in a long distance relationship. His girlfriend lives in Germany.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
What?
So
Was she in the military or something?
no, she lives there, man. They met each other or whatnot, and
Online?
yeah.
Okay.
They've been talking for like about almost like a year now, I believe.
Well, how many times they saw each other?
She came to the States a little while ago, and I want to say he went there as well. I don't know. My whole goal was to give him, some encouragement with it, with this particular topic and highlight some things because that's when we think about long distance. Sometimes we think about within the states. You know what I'm saying? But it's very rare we talking about something out of the country. So you're in a whole different, you're in an extreme different time zone. You like right now it's what 8 hours I think, so it's like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning over there. You know what I mean? So
So what's the end goal?
I don't know, and that's what we're gonna kind of drop in around in here and see what the end goal is gonna be. Where how he feels about the person is he feels real close. You know, I hope that what we have on the panel today gives him, of course, encouragement when he gets ready to jump on and whatnot. Give him encouragement, but also give him the watch outs. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm 100% encouraging. You follow what you follow. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. There's no judgment from my end. Um, I want you to do what's best for you. You know. So I can't answer that question. I'm not, what I'm saying? I can't answer what the end. I assume the end game is for one of them to end up being either place. You know what I'm saying? Like
How old is he?
33.
Oh yeah, I don't know how you ain't had that conversation yet, but that's what's up.
Hey. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm sure he has had some type of conversation. I don't, I'm not going to dip and dab in that. But like I said, I just learned about the whole relationship and everything. It was like, yo, pop, X, Y, Z. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, how's it? It's going good. It's this, and this. And I'm like, all right, bet. you know. So yeah, right now he was gonna come on and everything and kind of chop it up. So um, he's still working at the moment, so he can't come in right now. But like I told him, and I tell everybody, once we finish the episode, I upload it on my YouTube channel. So,
Right.
and right now I can't put my YouTube channel in my profile yet because I got to get my followers up. I need at least 1,000 followers. So I need followers, y'all.
Yeah.
I need
Mm-hmm.
followers.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh,
Right.
but
Well, I was telling you from the beginning how to get your followers. You got to engage one, do a lot of engaging on a lot of different ones, and then
and
get
that's
it.
how I got as many as I got now.
How many you got now?
I'm at like 672 or something like that now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when I first
Yeah,
started, I had like 100, 150.
yeah.
so,
Well,
so
well, I,
yeah,
I had I had a bunch of them, like a 1600, 1700, and I didn't even realize what none of that meant. But what it was, it was just like content I was sharing, other people's content. I was like something, and I was sharing. So I guess I was getting followers from that. But I didn't really do too much. And then plus, I still don't be on TikTok like that. Just don't have the time, honestly. I thought I would, but I really don't.
nah,
Yeah.
nah, yeah, because I was wondering what happened to Godmother After Dark. I'm like, yeah, she got busy.
Oh man, that's what happened to it originally. I mean, I did it for a lot longer then, but then the market just was, crazy. And God was doing this thing
Right,
with favor, so I couldn't complain about that part. So that's it. Well, the I'm gonna say something that's on a little bit, kind of what you said, but on a different note. This in general. This is just in general.
yeah. Go with it while
It
we
ain't
chill.
it ain't a judgment. Now it's just a thought. Um, Two, like I think that, like obviously the long distance thing is, it takes, like any other relationship. I think it takes some time, but I think especially at the age where he is now, he's probably thinking about something that's serious because kids. Well, I say kids because obviously my daughter's about to be 35, so they're still a kid to me. But men most of the time will they'll start to think about marriage a little bit, strongly closer to the 35, 40 age. That's when a lot of times y'all get serious.
Right.
But that was good. But I was just saying in general, like, like when we talk to our kids, and that's just me. I don't never unparent. You know what I'm saying? I'm always like giving advice
We never
because
unparent.
yeah, we never unparent. So I'm just saying, in this thing people do what they want to do, but your advice is always going to be good. I don't never really. Well, I'm gonna see what they're gonna do because I don't really know. We all knuckleheads at a certain age. You think you're grown, but you're really
I'll
not.
tell you later
Then you
for
look
working
back
there.
and you realize how young it is, huh?
No, I was walking with somebody. That's all.
Oh yeah, just then you realize how knucklehead you were after all. When you get older, like, why did I think I had it all together?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but in general, I mean, long distance don't, it's online. I think was what I'm more so thinking about. But long distance does take a lot to deal with, though. It does.
Yeah, and that's why I wanted to kind of talk through it a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Because um, me, I already got it written all out for him and whatnot, man. Uh, hold up a second, let me let you guys back in here. I think like the number one topic is the emotional realities of distance. Big guy, you was about to say something, brother?
Oh no, I just muted
Okay,
out.
okay. The emotional realities of distance, right? You're gonna have those quiet moments when you miss that person the most, right? Um, but what I will say about a long distance relationship, it creates a unique emotional landscape for those that are involved in a long distance relationship, or who knows what's going to happen. Both of you guys right now, y'all single. You know what I'm saying? Who's to say that something, down the line or whatever direction you guys go, not saying you guys as in y'all together, I'm
Right.
saying in the sense of um might end up meeting somebody somewhere, you know what I'm saying, and say, you know what, let's see how this all navigates, you know what I mean? Um, you're gonna have that connection with that person, you know, a deep you can have a really deep connection because honestly, I think a long distance relationship will get deeper than sometimes a relationship that's right in your face, right?
Well, I
Because
don't think so. I think sometimes it's the idea of, um, my ex would say absence makes the heart grow fonder, and it does.
hmm
And I think sometimes some people are more so they fall in love with the idea of being in love, and they have that element because they don't have they basically don't have the privilege of being around that person. But is it deeper? No, and there's a trust factor that's
well,
there
I
without.
mean, we're gonna get into that part of it. The reason why I say I think it's deeper because I believe at that point you begin to have more of an emotional connection with that person because now you are now being so intentional about knowing things about this person. So that the end game is when you do come together, you got enough information about each other to know a lot of things that a lot of times that we are for relationships we have face to face that we take for granted because a lot of times we take people can take for granted a face to face relationship because that person is right here. But when you got to have that relationship with somebody that's not here, that means you got to ask a whole lot of intentional questions. You got to ask a whole lot of things that you probably won't even necessarily ask. You know what I'm saying?
I would agree with you, Marlon. Um, I also say, when you're that far away and you're dating and you're intentionally dating that far away, then it's more than just one party that's serious. So the question is, what questions are they asking each other? What is each one looking for? Are you that serious right now to where you're talking about, okay, I want to not, let's not even use the term married or marriage. Let's
hmm
use the term, you know, building a life together, because at that point, it's you're saying more than just what it is. You're talking about a lifetime at that point, because you're all the way across the world. You on that side, I'm on this side. Where are we gonna put this thing together at? Is it gonna be on your side, my side, or in the middle somewhere?
Mm.
So everything is intentional. Like you said, is very intentional, and it's very important because you're looking at uh you know two two ways of life. Is heck, I don't know, is it a democracy over there, or is it a dictatorship? I can't remember. I think it's
I don't
democracy.
know. I don't know.
But see, that those type questions,
Yes.
where are we
Yeah.
gonna put this thing together at? How
Yeah.
are we
How
gonna
you
put it
gonna meet in the
together?
middle? Yeah.
Exactly. That stuff has got to be intentional
Yeah.
with that type of distance, that type of
Yes.
maneuverability that you gotta have. Like there's so many aspects of
Yes.
life that they each have to look at and
Yes.
inform and put together in order for that to work. I commend them. My hat goes off to them. That's
Yeah.
that's not, is it big? It's bold. It's bold.
That
It's
is
very bold.
very, very bold. You
It's
hit it
very
on the
bold.
head.
It's
It's
very
a
bold.
bold thing, and it's again. I think the level of questions and the level of getting to know that person is far greater than what it is that I think that we take so much. We take it light here. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I think we take it really light here because oh, okay, this person is right here. I can just call him, and if I want to see him, we can go to the movies. We can do
Yeah.
this. But
Yeah.
to know somebody that's not here, oh man, come
And
on.
see, that's another level of intimacy. You know, they I could, well, I ain't even gonna go there with that, but I mean, just imagine, think
Right.
about it. you know, everything is over the phone or over the internet. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
FaceTime,
Like,
everything.
God dang.
It's hey, I'm gonna support Graceland.
Over the phone, that's pretty much. I mean, it could be real, granted, and or it could be a representative. How
Well,
do you
see,
know?
you gotta look at it. You know, a representative is, let's say, me here in North Carolina, and a woman in New York. That's a representative. We talking about somebody who is, and again, nobody knows what this person is doing. They're asking each other to be, you know, accountable for their statements, what they're telling each other. So if I'm saying that I'm exclusive with you, then I'm exclusive with you in Germany. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's a representative. I can see what you're saying, but they're both saying more than they're just giving a representative, because these two individuals
Committed.
not
Yeah.
have not have just committed, but they've made a move to see one another, one in their place and the other in their place. So that's more. That was the, if you want to say representative, you know what I'm saying? I would say that was the representative that came over here and that went over there. That was the representative. Because to continue on a day to day, that's commitment.
Yeah.
Well, I do see it differently, but I do understand. I understand where y'all coming from. I do, but I'm just saying, even when you say you in North Carolina, and somebody in New York, but then what difference do it make? It's still a commitment because that's still. I mean, it ain't like you gonna drive across the border or whatever. I mean, it still takes a little bit of a something. It's a lot easier for you to build something. I think that intimacy, not talking about anything that's sexual or anything like that, but intimacy in general is just spending time. It's good to have a conversation. It's good to go through and do FaceTime, but at after a time, then where are we going? And it's kind of what you said earlier, and I had asked Marlon this before you came on. What's the end goal? If the end goal is that we're committed and we're going to get married, okay, that's what's up. Now, if the end goal is you just somebody for me to talk to while I'm going through what I'm going through, while I'm healing, while I'm doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? Companionship, okay, cool. I mean, there's no wrong answers one way or the other. But like I said, when you start talking about building, because let's just flip over a little bit. We've seen people who had these type of relationships and they were, people call them mail order brides, but same thing. They met in another country or whatever online. They were dating, blah blah blah. Then they talking to each other all the time and whatever, and then they get to one another, and then the things that they probably maybe could have seen while that they wouldn't have seen while they were online, then they get to see that, and then the relationships don't necessarily last because now it's not on the phone. It's not their representative. This is real. I see how you respond. I see how you are, because you pick up the phone and choose to call me and or pick up the answer. Whereas, we're around now. We see exactly what's what. So I think it's almost just like anything else, right? Like you're dating and you're not living with each other. So you're gonna see certain things. But when you get married or you start dating and you live together, you're gonna see a lot of things that you didn't see during the dating phase. And I feel like it's the exact same thing when you start talking about, long distance dating, shall I say.
Well, see,
Especially
you got,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was saying especially something like that because I mean you can obviously go to another country, duh, but I mean it's a little bit
Hmm.
easier if you're in New York going to North Carolina or New York going to North Carolina going to Florida, something like that. That's definitely easier. It then takes a little bit more time. So the idea would be they may never know, what's what because you ain't really there, and that's not a trip that you're going to take on a regular basis. And I feel like until you do, it's not even anything that's really serious. It's a mental thing. It ain't a thing. That is, what's my
Well,
opinion.
well, I mean, you have to put you can't say that it's not reality because it's not tangible. It's very much so reality because it's not yours, it's not mine, it's not Marlon's, it's their reality. And I know you said, well, we're not talking about anything sexual, but I am. I'll say that. If y'all don't think that them kids have had phone sex, then y'all sleep. Everybody sleeping. You
Yeah.
best believe that they
Yo,
have.
Cole, what's good?
Well,
I was just making a general statement, just to be clear. But go ahead.
no, I know that you were. I know that you were. I'm just saying. I spoke on it. Like I'm like, if nobody here thinks that they're not having phone sex, then we all sleep because they
Yeah.
are.
Well, of
And
course.
okay, so I say it's not. For instance, you don't value you and me and Marlon know this about you, that you don't value a phone conversation. Your value is more of a, be intentional, be in person, visit me, bring me flowers, treat me like I want to be treated. That's not their reality. That's not how they're choosing to do it. See, I can relate to you in that aspect and do those things, but I can also relate to them and do those things just as such because
What's good?
I, if I'm talking about me, I would consider that route. You would not consider that route because you would say, that's not reality. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the way that you think about that. It's just not a fit for you. And it may not be a fit for me, depending on, you know,
Where you are in your
the
life.
person. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah,
So I
but
mean,
go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
it's all up to them, what they make of it. It's up to us to be supportive and give them whatever we can give them and not be biased to the situation. Not say, well, is it, and I'm not knocking you on this, I'm just saying,
Go ahead.
is it a biased statement to say, well, that's not reality? But it is. That's their reality. We're there to support their reality, whatever they choose to make it, because this is how they're setting it up. Now, us as parents, we want to do whatever we can do to help them be successful. So if it's making sure, and this is real simple. What I mean by this, I'm just laying an example out there. If it's for us to make sure that we got internet so that they can communicate, okay, then let's make sure we got internet, make sure that they can communicate. I mean, you follow what I'm saying?
You say we, you mean like who?
I'm just speaking in general, like
Oh,
if it
like
if
them.
if it were your kids, whatever.
Well, then
Just
these
speaking
kids
in
is
general.
wrong. Well, I'm just saying this. Well, let me just say this, and with that, I understand what you're saying, and I really don't 100% disagree. Truth be told, I don't. I'm just saying. So let me just speak a little bit more closely. I'm not gonna say my statement is more general because there was times when I too have been in long distance relationships. Okay, another
Mm-hmm.
country, military, you know what I'm saying, that kind of thing like that. So I, am familiar. And like I said, I know that sometimes, and I was much younger also. And so, like old people always say, hindsight is always 2020, right? So, you just kind of look back at it. And then when you get older to realize what all it takes to truly engage. The idea was cute. The idea was nice, and I mean, I'm not saying that it could not work. I'm not, but I just think also as parents we have to be no different if they were right there in the same city or town. It's just certain things you got to be aware of. Yeah,
Right, but hold that thought 1 second. Hold that thought. Do you say to, if this was your child and you just explained what you have went through and what you've done, right? What
right,
you experienced, do you
right.
say to them, oh, well, that may not work, or that's probably not going to work because of such and such? Or do you say, well, I've done that before. Okay, good.
Well, I don't know if that was a trick question, but I would say them both. So
No,
I'm saying
no, it's
like
not
I
it's
said,
not a trick
No,
question.
it's
It's
not a
just a
trick
right,
straight
right.
question.
question.
I think what I'm just saying, I would have said to y'all just what I said just now. I have done. I mean, I would say done both. Just like I just told y'all, I would say the same thing. I mean, here's the thing. It's
But
this.
that puts a bias out there, love.
Here's the
That
thing.
puts a
But let me just be very clear. This is the problem. Now, me and Marlon was talking about this before, and I see things. I see things how I see things. I don't care if it puts a bias. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, my thing is this: that this is like everything else. It is an opinion, correct? That is my opinion. I'm going to keep it real. I'm not going to go through and let them go. Like a lot of well, they got to learn for themselves. Well, sometimes some people, sometimes they don't come back off something. I'm gonna give you what my opinion is. Now, of course, you always can do what you want to do because I'm raising you that way. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna ask me, I'm not gonna say, well, I can't make that decision for you. It's not about me making my decision. But if you ask me my opinion, I'm going to be honest with it. And like I said,
right. But I mean,
no, wait, but
what if
hold
it?
on, hold on. I'm saying, and you start talking about my kids, so I want to make sure that I'm real clear. So when it comes down to an opinion, again, it is an opinion. And so, I mean, I think it's important for us to be very honest with our kids, one way or the other, no matter which direction they decide to, because at the end of the day, there's certain for them, like you see kids who, they unalive themselves at a young age over heartbreak, right? And you say, "Oh, poor baby." You know what I'm saying? We all
Well,
have
hold
been
on,
through
hold
stuff.
on before you keep going. Let me say this. It's not as an opinion.
Yeah,
They
but
didn't
here,
act.
but here's the thing.
No, 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 no.
No,
Wait a
no,
minute.
I
Hold
just let you
on.
Hold
talk. Let
up,
me get
hold
my
up,
point out, and you hold
hold
that
up.
thought. I'm saying in the sense of, regardless as to what at the time it
You
may
just
have
keep
seemed
going.
pretty bad to them, but when they keep on living, they understand. So you should share those things to them. I mean, so again, I'm going to, if it's me, if it was Marlon, if it was my child, if it was somebody who I didn't know, I'm going to give you the insights of what it is. You can have a relationship with you face to face and it don't work, right? So definitely you could do it with that. But I just feel in general, seeing certain things, I don't think in general that they always work, but sometimes they do. It just depends.
No,
But you can
that's
move
not
with
what I'm
Marlon.
saying. What I'm saying is that is if they're asking, that's a difference. If they're not asking you for your opinion, then that was my question. Are you going to be biased by it and say, well, I tried that and it doesn't work, or it probably wouldn't work out, but you're giving them the best information that you can. That's what I'm saying. If they're not asking, do you still give your opinion? Because if you do, then that's being biased by the
Yeah, but
situation.
I don't care about being biased by the situation. That's not my
But
concern of
why?
not being
Well,
biased.
that's a bit
But
selfish then.
Well, I
I
mean, my
mean,
point is
being
that at the end of
biased.
the day,
Hold on. So, Godmother. I mean, think of
yeah,
it like this. As you said, if you're telling your child certain things, your bias is based upon your own personal feeling about it. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? That's
correct.
so. Do we give our kids our do we give our kids our bias because we're uncomfortable with it, or do we do like I am love, support, and greatness say you give them your blessings, but you give them the reality of it.
That's what I'm saying. But the reality of it, what's the reality? The reality is going to be based off of however you feel. But I've said to you that several times it could work or it
Mm-hmm.
might not work. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yes, that's exactly what. And here's the thing too, Marlon. Let me go deeper. When we were coming up and you had certain things, how did your parents respond, especially your father? How did he respond on things? Did he wait for you to give an opinion, or if he saw something, did he expound on it, whether you agreed or not?
Right.
Because again, I feel like that's parenting. I feel like that's parenting, and that's also giving some guidance, some type of some kind of again, we made whatever decisions we wanted. My mom and daddy told me no, not to marry Dennis, but guess what? I did. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, they still said that. I mean, and I feel like I said, this day and this time where you just don't say nothing. No, I mean, I'm not. Now again, they ultimately, it's not like you saying I forbid you to go and date whoever, because no, that's a bit much. But I will say that again, I'm going to always give my honest opinion, and then they can make a choice. Because again, especially again, as I talk about my age, but I've seen a lot of things, and I'm not saying, oh, this won't work, because we don't never know what will work. But right, but I'm going to be honest with you, and then you make your decision based off that. And if it worked, wonderful, and if it don't work, it's okay. But I would never want to not want to say anything because it came off bias, because it would be biased, but that's my opinion.
Okay.
Hey everybody.
What's good?
Hey.
What's good?
Hey, I want to touch on that. I do agree with what she said as far as it could work or it could not work. But okay, just from my standpoint along as far as my experience, I was young. I was raised in the Holiness Church and they kind of mold you into being a husband and wife at a young age. And I met the guy in the church, but he was older than me. And so he graduated before me. He was going to the military. He was going to be stationed in Germany. And my parents, of course, I'm not saying they were strict, but before I made any decisions, because at the time I decided I was going to go into the military too, so that we can be stationed together and everything. But before I made any decisions, they told, they had me finish school, make sure I made a certain grade, get my education, and before I make any type of choice to actually finish school and decide if that's really what I want to do. Well, by the time I was actually graduating and was finishing school, um, I went through a situation with him when he came back and was supposed to be. This was right before he was going to be stationed, right after his basic training and everything. Um, he ended up cheating. Mind you, at the time I was still a virgin. I was waiting till marriage, but he wasn't a virgin, and he was messing around, So I felt like that knocked me off of my focus as far as my books and everything. So I told him I wanted to give it a break as far as the relationship and put it on hold. And he took it as I want to. I'm still looking. I'm still searching. So pretty much that only didn't work out because of the fact that we both was young, and I feel like if we weren't so young and I was a little more educated, it could have possibly worked out because, for one, I ain't gonna say I was no saint, but I was young at the time too. But I feel like I was naive too because, for one, I was trying to go behind a man and basically live his dream and what he doing, but not doing what I'm doing. And I know I would have messed up by getting married at a young age and not really living my life the way I should have and finding me. And I can't say I am grateful that I didn't because I'm a lot older. And now, being that I was raised in the church and I built my own relationship with God and I took a step back to now know God for myself, I know that I was not in any predicament to get married because I didn't understand what an actual marriage is. That's a covenant. That's a whole nother level type thing. I wasn't ready to be nobody's wife. I wasn't ready to fight that battle, So and I wasn't as far as just knowing the way a wife is supposed to be and the way a husband should be. We both weren't ready because we both was young. But
Right.
I can say when it comes to long distance relationships, it could have worked out because I was very faithful. I'm a faithful, loyal person. But I know that men have their downfalls as well. But I'm not saying he was just a messed up person. It was just a situation that caught up to him with a young girl that was it was a whole nother little thing.
Right.
But
Right.
like she said, it could work out, it could not work out. So it really depends on who it's with because I did have another chance. Excuse me, can y'all leave out? Thank you. Anyways, I had another situation where it was a guy that I went to high school with. This was a guy that I went to my dance with, and he was a little sweetheart and everything, and he was in the military. He was going to the what that is, the Marines, and he wanted to marry
You like
me.
the military man, don't you?
No, they just came for me. And he wanted to marry me, but I felt like he was moving a little too fast, and my parents really liked him. They was like, "Oh, he good, and he this and that." You know how parents is. And I ain't gonna lie, cause my mama always was right. She'll call a person out real quick, and she ain't had no filter on her mouth either. But I just didn't feel like I was ready for him, and I wasn't even really attracted to him like that. I feel like I only went for him because I knew he was the type that my parents liked. But I had to do what was best for me.
You were chasing
But
that bag. Like Godmother said, you chasing that bag.
yeah,
I said BAQ.
it's what.
I thought you were chasing the
Well,
bag.
But I can say, I mean, I wouldn't knock a long distance relationship because, of course, it is in how and who it is. Because you really do have people out here who are faithful. Like a lot of us who don't really get out, who are in the house all the time. You know, they say the good was being in the house, like we be kind of hidden, and then you got the ones who it may not work out, but you know, usually you see them red flags. You know, like I said
Yeah.
before on another live, you know, consult with God about it. Is this your person? Is this what God wants you to do? You know, and you know, just give them your blessings, but of course, break down the reality of it.
No,
Right.
I definitely agree with you,
That's
man. I appreciate
yeah.
you. Very,
That's
very
really key.
valid point.
And yeah, and that's and thank you too but I am so love. I am love. That's what's up
Y'all can
because
say Crystal. I know it's my
okay,
name Crystal.
okay. Thank you, Crystal. Because this is what I'm saying. I mean, like I feel like the insight that your parents gave you, and you're right. I mean, I don't care if he'd been in the military, if he was, you know, whatever. It's just, you know, they gave you the insight because they're your parents. They understand. Now you know, it just so happened, and they made sure you was good. But I'm saying, as being a military, former military spouse, and Marlon in the military as well. I mean, you know, it's a whole house. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just like college. You know what I'm saying? You have a good time.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
it is. And so
It is.
it is.
Yes.
Look, man.
And then when you younger, I mean, let's call a thing a thing. When we young, we 17, 18, you know,
Naive.
20, 25, even 30. I mean, you enjoying life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a lot out there. So that's all I'm saying is that no different than anything else, whether it be, you know, your personal time with God or with the person, you have to be able to create a real intimacy for what this relationship is going to require. But I'm not saying if two people are committed, then yeah, it could work. But you got to have an end goal. You know what I'm saying? What do you really want? Is the idea of marriage, or are we just going to just be kicking it? Because I mean, at you know, you just got to be intentional. Because if we just kicking it and we quote unquote committed, yeah, they always committed on the phone. That's easy part. You know what
Well,
I'm saying?
I
You
mean,
just want
now
to see.
going back to the topic and what it was, everybody that just came on, by the way, welcome in 100 podcast. Topic for tonight is navigating a long distance relationship, love across the miles. I hope we ain't just kicking it in a long distance relationship. I know I heard what you were saying, Godmother.
But
I
I'm saying,
hope
but
people at this
what
age
else
is
would
not
you
just
really be?
kicking it and saying, "Oh well, you're over here, I'm over there. Let's just kick it." You know what I'm saying? I guess I take that as if I'm just kicking it, I'm not being serious. I'm not being intentional. I'm not trying to have a relationship. I'm just trying to have. I'm trying to be like Ludacris, and I'm trying to have it in every area code. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like
well, no, not necessarily. Not necessarily. What it also could say that at the end of the day, right now, ain't nothing else got my, you know what I'm saying? But it don't stop you from go, you know, who
exactly.
knows what's
Yeah.
gonna come up. And yeah, and then you don't feel so yeah, you could be earnestly talking to that person because sometimes the mental, you know, I mean, talking to somebody who's got the intelligence to be able to have a good conversation or somebody you know
Yeah.
you make laugh or I mean that's legit. But that's not to say that then you wouldn't see that other person because when you open to online dating or whatever, you're usually 100% open. Because again, you don't have no skin in the game. And that is how you do one thing is how you do everything. You got to always have some kind of skin in the game, not phone time. Because
Right.
like I said,
I got you.
then what's the difference? But I mean, they you know, and like I said, having you know, people you know, sexting or whatever, you know, hey, maybe you know, whatever. But regardless of that, I mean, we done seen that because you know, I done said, hey, let me see what size it is, let me see what you got. Okay, fine, and that it was cool. It looked cool over there, but I mean, then if you ever got to the point, that don't mean it was good. That don't mean that you know what I'm saying. How he it's a lot of other things and it's got to be you know a lot more. So again, could this be a foundation? Yeah, but I mean for them to say that we gonna do this and now it just takes more time, that's all. So
I got you. Well, look, great points from everybody, right? Keita, welcome up to the panel, love. Welcome,
oh
welcome.
hey Candy said wasting time, that's what's up,
That's
homie.
right. She did. I said that earlier. You missed it.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and when she had first typed it. So again, everybody, welcome in navigating a long distance relationship across the miles. This is the 100 podcast. Number two, right? we highlighted a whole bunch of different things, but let's talk about the one thing, and I think we touched on it for a second, but let's get back to it. Trust. The backbone of a long distance relationship is trust.
Right.
So I wrote down a couple of things, right? So in a long distance relationship, trust isn't optional. And we got to make sure that we are very clear that trust is not an optional thing at this particular point. It's honestly the oxygen that you need. You got to breathe that. You got to be real. Um, this is where you can't trust the physical reassurance because physically you're not there with each other. Like what me and Big Guy was saying earlier too. Like you know, that long distance relationship is going to be so far and different from somebody that's sitting right here in your face. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times, again, when you have somebody in your face, we take things for granted. But when you got to really have those conversations that you don't normally have, you know what I'm saying? It's mind blowing. PT Tay, welcome in, sis. There's my sis. Um, so everything is about being transparent.
I
Consistency and
think
follow through, like you said earlier, it's consistency and being transparent. Um,
well, how do we? But let me ask you this, because this is just getting. I'm just trying to figure this out. How did you know when you start talking about trust, which is legit 100? And so then how do you build that with somebody who you're not there with over the phone? How do you say a consistency like you call
it's the
every
same.
day
It's the
9 to 5?
same. You got to have faith. It's the same way we believe in God. Do we see God? We got to have faith. You have to have
Hold on.
trust.
We got faith and we got trust, but okay, so when with something that you can't see, okay, cool. So then what's the difference when the person is right there? I don't know I'm just saying regarding, and again, full disclosure, I've been in, okay, but I'm just saying, how does that closer relationship, even if it's stateside or whatever, or just a not long distance or a local relationship, how does a long distance relationship trump that off those same principles when you have people who are right here and not being honest? That's what my thing is. I'm not saying
No,
this
and I
particular.
got you. I got you. That's just something that you gotta have. You're just gonna have to trust the situation. It's the conversation you have about just trusting the situation. You know what situation that you know that your trust. You have to put a lot of the afterthoughts that you have with a normal relationship, like you said, face to face. That kind of goes out of the window because you're dealing with somebody that's thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away. You got to have a whole lot of trust at that point. You got to have a whole lot of trust at that point and say, you know what? Hey, I'm not going to sit here and ask for a play-by-play book of how what you did throughout the whole time. I got to trust that what you're doing where you're at is just what you said that you're doing.
Right, I get that, but what I'm trying to understand, just like Crystal said before, and she 100. A lot of times you do say, and I'm not going to make this about sex or whatever the case may be. I mean sex like in as in gender, not sex but gender. So I'm not saying so much as with the gender, but you do find a lot of women and they're inside and they're doing whatever and they are being faithful, and then you find out some a lot of men, let me just call a thing, they're not. They're just doing whatever because men bond differently. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have a whole
Yeah.
different system to what you feel is love as opposed to what you feel is kicking it. And I mean that's just legit, and that's how we wired. So again, with that being the case, knowing that men need something visual, two, they require touch, and most time touch is big a lot of times when you start talking about a love language, and that's with men, and that's fine. You can have a little bit of a fantasy for a little
Hello?
bit over the phone,
I think we
but then
lost her.
after a while,
You coming in and out.
okay, I thought it was just me. I mean, I thought it was you. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear
Hey,
you
next.
now. What's good,
Okay,
next level?
I was saying if with men being the way that they are and they feel like touch is one of their love languages for sure, then okay, we can do the setup, for a little bit on, over the phone, long distance or whatever, not even necessarily over the phone or whatever. But then how long does that last? Being that you all are the creatures that you are, you desire some kind of
Well,
touch.
let me put it like this, right? So you touched on love languages. I'm gonna hit one other point before I go into that. Right. Anywhere it goes, long distance or in the face, is going to be a risk no matter what. Right. Okay. All right. 33. See you back in a second. Next level. The topic for tonight is navigating a long distance relationship. Love across the miles. Your love language is just what it is, right? But you have to understand if you're in a long distance relationship, and if you know your love language is physical, then you know you're not supposed to be in a long distance relationship. If you know that's your diehard thing about you. If physical touch is your highlight of your love language, you don't need to be in that type of relationship because that's going to affect how your mindset goes. In other words, your mindset, whatever, if your love language is, acts of service, that might be a better thing to be in a long distance relationship. You know what I'm saying? Because I can go and do something for you. It's different things. You know what I'm saying? I think, again, that's about knowing who you are and saying, hey, you know what? I can't do this relationship. And being honest, I can't do this relationship because you're requiring that physical touch. Let's see, Candy says, and those type of people, exactly, you should not be in a long distance relationship. It won't work. You know what I'm saying? That's not all men's love language. Physical touch is not all men's love language.
Well, is it yours?
No.
What's your love language? We
Acts
got
of
more than
service.
one, but I'm saying acts of service.
Yes.
So
And my
if you
wife
did
is sitting
acts,
right here, and my wife will tell you the touch part. That's hers is physical touch. Me, I'm acts of service. That's
me, I'm gifts.
gifts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the conversation has to go around. If you're about to embark that type of relationship, if you want a long distance relationship to work, that's a part of that learning part, that conversation that you're going to have is what's your love language? Because nobody wants to sit here and waste time. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sit here and waste time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, put it like this. I put it like this: complete transparency. My wife and I, even though we have known each other for a long time, going into a relationship is a whole different realm. I knew her love language was acts of service. I mean, it was physical touch, right? I needed to make sure I got here real quick for that physical touch. So what I did was I put steps in place to make sure that when I was making my move, I knew I was moving because the person that I chose to be with, I understood what it was. So my intentionality was to make sure that I was here because I understood what it was. So it's not saying that it won't work. You just got to have a conversation so you know what type of time frame you're looking at.
Correct. That's why I was talking about the same thing with the end goal. What's the end goal?
Absolutely.
Goes right back to the
Keita, you still working?
Yeah, she must be working.
She might be still working. But
Yeah.
I was like chiming in. J. Kim, welcome in.
I like to touch on that.
Go ahead. I am love. Go ahead, Crystal.
I just want
let me see what next level say right quick. It's the long-term investing. If you can't wait for the investment to pay off, don't invest. Facts. All right, Crystal, what you
What
got?
about when it don't pay off?
Girl.
Well, I just want to say that long distance relationships, it comes with the same risk that a regular relationship will take, which is taking the risk of trusting. Most of the time you put your trust in somebody that you might completely just believe that, oh, this person will never do this to me, this person will never do that, and then be the main ones that end up doing it to you, and
Correct.
you end up and once that trust is gone, or that person that person who you thought wouldn't do you wrong does you wrong, it does a different type of toll to you. So I can, what I say when I say it takes the same risk is me saying that it can either make or break you. So you have to be a strong individual to be able to receive a loss. You know, not the same way it is with in being a relationship. This relationship might work or it might not. But are you somebody who, once that relationship don't work, is it going to break you? Is it going to take you into this deep hole where you go through depression and all this, boo-hoo and crying? Yeah, we do go through that phase. But as far as, you want to commit suicide or do crazy stuff, or you gonna let this be a lesson or a blessing? Is this gonna be the lesson that, okay, I now know that I need to look for these red flags, or did I consult with God about it? Or do I need to just knowing what to look for now, and knowing not to waste your time or put your time into certain things, especially when you ask a person in the beginning, what are their intentions? What are your intentions? Did God send you? It's because somebody sent you. Did God send you? If God didn't send you, then you can go kick rocks. So I'm just not going to waste my time with that. It just comes with growth, knowledge, and just being able to be a strong individual to where it's going to either make or break you, and being able to look at it as a lesson or a blessing. So you taking the same risk.
Right.
Okay.
And then also, I want to add to what Crystal says too. Not more so, because like me, I mean, we all grew up believing in God, right? But I didn't have a real relationship, like you say you were raised in the church. So I didn't really have that. Like growing up, I had the typical kind of pity pat relationship with God. So you didn't always wasn't even always like, well, who sent you? It's almost like, oh yeah, well, he buy me this, he do that, he does. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing like that. And it's cool, but it's no different than if you got a man in prison, and I know I got family members that's in prison, and I mean, who works at the prison, should I say. They work at the prison and they know this one and that one, and they got this long distance relationship because they're not even there, but them boys is over there getting it in, and other people is doing whatever. Well, now she faithful on that side, no question. But he not, though. He got her thinking XYZ, get married. It just, so like I said, it's a risk one way or the other. How do you feel once once that's over with or whatever? And, is that person, and especially without having a conversation, and we all kind of have gone back to that, which is, what's the end goal? Then if it doesn't work out, then how did you feel? You know what I'm saying? Did you just go into it because it feel good? Did you have a real conversation to say, well, ultimately I'd like for us to get together and, get married or whatever? Because then if it doesn't, now you feel like you wasted your time and did, If you felt like, hey, this is the end goal and it didn't work out that way, it's a little bit different because then you did the best you could and it just didn't work out. And that's just life in general, right? So, yeah.
No, I get what you're saying. Next Level says him and his wife were in a long distance for 2 years before they got married. And everybody that knows them, they've been married for a minute. They've been together for a minute now.
Well, like I said,
it's about making it work. Yes. Yeah.
Now, but there's a thing, even with that, because now 33 said, like, he used the example North Carolina and New York, but he kind of went on. So like, you get long distance relationship. I don't care if it's from here to Columbia, South Carolina, because that's 2.5 hours one way. But I'm just saying, so that's considered long distance. But whether it's that or whether you're in another country or or whatever, it just sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. But if it's,
I just used it as an example. I wasn't trying to make a reference to any or.
oh no, I wasn't talking about them. I was just saying, when you were saying about it takes a different level of commitment when you're out of the country as opposed to when
Right,
you're
it does.
in the state.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's keep it pushing. Everybody that's just joining us, welcome in 100 podcast. Topic for tonight: navigating a long distance relationship, love across the miles. Number 3, communication, consistency, and intensity. A lot of couples will overcompensate by texting all day long or forcing deep conversations every single night. But we all understand that's not sustainable, right? Healthy communication.
Hold on. I missed it. I'm sorry. Can you repeat it again? I didn't hear you.
I said a lot of couples overcompensate by texting all day long or forcing deep conversations every night. But we can all agree that's not sustainable. But healthy communication It's simply about being consistent. You don't have to sit here and go every single day, like I said earlier, play by play of, hey, I woke up. Hey, I ate breakfast. Hey, I did this. Hey, I did this. Hey, I did this. It's just about just having healthy communication, right? Um, because you don't want to drain a person. You don't want it to become something redundant where every day is, okay, well, I know they're about to tell me about this, and then they're about to tell me about this. They're just boring. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
that's
Um,
yeah, that's
you got to have a balance. In other words, you got to have a balance where it's enough communication to feel bonded, but enough space to still live your life because you're still living two separate lives. You know what I'm saying?
on two
But you just
separate
got to
places.
know how
Yeah.
to balance it. Exactly. Give them
Well,
time to miss
yeah,
you.
yeah. Well, I agree. I agree with that. Long distance or local. So you got to have some balance. I think in long distance relationships, people have a tendency, and I think you mix it up. Like you got boring conversation, or but if you got effective communication, because maybe you're just having these long, deep talks, not long, well, not even so much as long, but you having intentional. I call it being intentional. Let me say that. So you're kind
Hmm.
of intentional in your communication as opposed to when you just sitting over and y'all watching TV together and or both of y'all strolling on another phone. That's a little bit different. That's just, that's annoying. But I mean, texting all day, absolutely not, because I got things to do. But
Well, we know you
definitely
don't
have,
like.
right. You know that's a big thing. Absolutely not. Don't text me. Don't text me. Hey, but
We know that.
effective communication for sure. Having good talks and no different than because if you were here, we'd be going on a date, right? And then there
Hmm.
still is conversation there. So now if we're not going on a date or whatever, then Friday night might be, or Saturday night or whatever, probably would be those conversations. But
So
good
Candy says,
communication or
right.
whatever.
Then it comes to the point where you have nothing to talk about or struggling to have conversation. Exactly. You can't sit
Correct.
here and talk every single day because then you try. Now you just start talking about random stuff that has nothing. That's just pointless conversations at that
Well,
point.
I think that's a person, but I think that's a personal. So yeah, I agree with you, right? And I'm saying that also is a the kind of person that you're dealing with too, because I know people that
Hmm.
they ain't long distance, but they ain't got no conversation. Them WYD men for sure.
What you doing? What you doing?
Minding my
Uh,
business, okay,
uh,
minding my business. That's what I'm doing.
Well, I can say that as far as communication, like he said, it can get to a point where it get boring, even long distance relationships. Because when you constantly talking to each other on the phone all the time and oh, what you about to, it's almost like monitoring the person in a way. You keeping up
Right.
with what they doing or
yes.
who over there or
Yes.
and it kind of develop them insecurities. So when you don't hear from them, you feel like, oh, they moving different, they acting different. He might
Yep.
be doing something he ain't supposed
Yep.
to be doing. But like, like I said in the comment, you got to give that person time to miss you. And I learned that, myself. Cause I mean, I've been called clingy, and I sometimes I was like, I don't understand how I'm clingy, but now I can kind of see how I can become clingy. Cause when I'm really into a person, I call you all, every day, wait on you to call me, as soon as you text me, I text you back. But you gotta, like my mom used to say, you gotta get them, you have to give them time to miss you. So
Oh yeah.
like, it got to a point to where we was talking every day on the phone and I started having the Google questions, 21 questions to ask your boyfriend and stuff, just trying to figure out stuff. But then I can say I encountered people later on down the line where I didn't have to do that with because it was like we could talk about anything, any and everything. Like we could have a whole ongoing conversations for hours, like 5 hours, 6 hours straight just
Right.
talking, so it's definitely about communication. And I used to always say without communication there is no relationship, because
But
communication is key to a relationship.
it is, but
Right.
yet it was also the person that you were talking to. Like you said, you got some you could talk about everything, nothing. Then you got some other ones that, I mean, they, you were just watching paint on the wall. So it just depends on that person what they brought, to it. So you're right about that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Absolutely. Number 4, keeping the romance alive. So
Ain't no romance. Ain't no
hold on.
romance.
It is romance. So calm down.
No, it's not. Ain't no
Here.
romance.
Listen. I'm about to mute you. Cut it out. Cut it out.
It don't matter. It still ain't gonna be no romance. Shoot.
Look, romance has to be intentional. Romance is not about just physical, godmother. Romance has to be intentional when you're dealing with a long distance relationship. You can have virtual dates. You can have shared playlists. You can have handwritten letters. You can have sending them a surprise gift. You can a simple voice message of thinking about you. Those are things that's romantic. Romantic is not just about the physical touch. There are actual things that you can do. Like if you figure out something like you know what their favorite group is, you might say, "Hey, you know what? I see that they got a concert where they're at. Boom! I done bought you some tickets for this concert." That's romantic. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that this person is there, you send them some flowers, right? You know, it's there are different things that you can do to be romantic. You know what I'm saying?
I want to speak on that.
All right, go ahead.
As far as the romance, like okay, everything that you did in the beginning to get that person, keep doing it. Don't stop doing it. Don't stop sending flowers. Don't stop, taking them on dates. Don't stop everything you did to get that person. Keep doing it basically. And you have to continue to date every version of that person. And what I mean by that is we growing. So we're changing. That person might end up, they might not like broccoli anymore, or they might start liking something they used to. Then we're changing. So there's a version of each of us to as we grow. So you have to continue to date each version of them and continue to fall in love with them over and over again with each version of them that comes into play, as vice versa. That way the love never leaves and it never gets to a point to where you have a lot of people who say, "Oh, the love just went away. It just fainted," or "I'm just not in love with that person no more," or "I'm leaving the marriage because the love just ain't there no more." You have to continue to date that person so you can fall in love with each version of that person, fall in love over and over again. So yeah.
But let me ask you this, Crystal.
Yes,
Falling
ma'am.
in love over and over again, and I agree with what you said, by the way. And falling in love over and over again, long distance wise. Tell me what that would look like for you.
Um, would they be married, or they just dating long distance as far as boyfriend and girlfriend type?
Yeah, this long distance, like when we talk, because I mean, I think if you marry, you got like and I would guess, but you never can tell us different things. I think you would have had some type of, basis like, and again, we use military. So let's say you were dating, you were married, or like, my first husband, he was, God bless, he was, on a tour. He was, he had to go, to Korea and I couldn't go. So okay, so that's different. We're not talking about that because that's a love that's already established that we actually we cultivated, in person. We talking about in the situation, or just in the situation, you meet somebody online and you live, in Georgia and they live in Nevada or whatever the case may be. And like you said, I agree with all those things you said, but those are things that you do in person. So how do you do this? Oh, I mean, long distance wise. Or here's another thing too. I will say this because we can say long distance. You could have went through, met, maybe y'all do visit, and that's why y'all falling in love. But just be on the phone talking every day or video chatting. I'm in love. That's a lot for me, for Carmen, for me. I'm just saying. But I was just asking, and there's no wrong answers. I was just asking you, and because what you said, I agree. So how do you think you could feel those same feelings with someone who you never met in person and be in love with them?
Well, I can't. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I've never had a situation where I met a person. I mean, I have met people online, but I eventually seen them in person. But as far as having a long distance relationship where it carry on for a while, I've never had that happen. So I mean, the only thing I would say as far as the love and everything, you you have to have a different type of love for first off, to be able to fall in love with a person because you have different types of love. You got conditional love, there's different types of love. So, when it comes to having the love of God, that's a different, level type of thing. And once you have that type of love, I mean, you technically can't. It's kind of hard to really fall out of love with that person when you have the type of love, the godly type of love. But I don't know. I gotta process that in my head for a second. What you just said. Yeah. I'm gonna have to process that for a second and come back.
Correct. That's what I was saying. I was like, when you were saying, I'm like 100. I agree what Crystal said 100%. But if I haven't been able to get that, like you said, what did we do in the beginning that made me fall in love with you? And we're not, at all agape love. Yeah, okay, that's a God type love. But to be in love, to say you're my person and vice versa, what did we do? Just have a conversation?
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, look, I'm
that
feeling
was my
like
thing too.
this. Look. I mean, I hear what you're saying. And
Hey,
again,
Brooklyn, babe.
everybody is going to be different, right? I fell in love with my wife before I even moved here. You feel what I'm
But
saying?
you also you already knew her before
I
in a
knew
different,
her.
yeah. So she had some wonderful. That's different. We talking about somebody who you just you maybe met them online, or maybe you met them one time and then do that because y'all had a long history before y'all got together. Hey,
Right.
Brooklyn.
And we
Well, I can
did.
say I've been there and done that, and actually, were we were engaged. So, and our relationship formed online. Met her online, dated her online for like 3, 4, maybe 5 months, and then we finally met, hung out, and things went even further. We dated for a year, and then stayed and got engaged. Well, dated for a year not on and off, just, and then we got serious the second year, and I proposed to her. Now, granted, I didn't marry that young lady because there were individuals who came in our relationship that should not have been, and she didn't handle that part right, and I didn't handle that part right. So it's both on us, and I'll say it and leave it like that. But if we disclude those other individuals from not being in our relationship, then it would have been perfect because we had no hiccups, no other issues, no other quarrels, nothing.
What now? And I'm not saying that you can't, but now here's the thing. You said you had no other hiccups, yet still that was the hiccup. How y'all let other people come in and do something with your relationship? I mean, y'all had built a bond, granted, but in marriage or in relationship, well, you had asked her to marry you, so in marriage, you got to see like Crystal said earlier, every part of that person. So whether and I don't know obviously the details, but whether it was like sometimes family gets in the way, sometimes as friends or whatever case may be. And so when those things happen and how they dealt with it, then yeah, she was great for you in every other way. But the main thing that stopped y'all from getting married, she couldn't handle. And this is what I'm saying. I'm saying every part of a person to go through and to say, I'm committed and I'm loved, that I'm in love and we're going to spend, like you said, the end goal.
Well, I mean, I see where you're trying to go with it, but that's just not the case. The case of it was that, you know, she, and I'll say she and I, to keep it, on a non-biased state without placing blame on one particular individual. It, there were people who entered the relationship, irregardless. The point of it, what we were talking about was, can it work? Will it work? And I was saying that it did work up until, and you're not going to know somebody 100%. I mean, you're not. Marlon didn't even know his wife 100%.
Right. That correct. Right. Yep.
Brooklyn baby and next level, they didn't know each other 100%. And I'm sure that they've had hiccups. It's just you can either get past them or you can't. That part is just life. That's not, well, it was a problem or it was issue and that's why y'all didn't work out. No, It's
But it,
because it didn't go any further in discussion, and the willing parties were no longer willing to go any further. That's
but
the
that's well, that's always how the relationship is. But remember, I said to you before. I mean, I don't care if you in person or whatever. If something happened and the parties aren't willing to do it, then of course, whatever it is, that's the decision. I mean, that kills it. But I said also they could work, but in this case, it didn't. But I mean, that could have been anybody. That could have been somebody you met in person. I was
Next
just
level say,
adding
you
that.
do all this chocolate.
Ah!
Okay, I'm back, y'all. I'm back. I'm ready to talk now.
Well, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Right.
Okay.
Another part of keeping romance alive is planning. Planning visits becomes a part of the romance too. The
Right.
anticipation, the countdown, the reunion. But the goal here's a big point, right? The goal shouldn't be to recreate an in-person relationship. It's about finding meaningful ways to bond emotionally, mentally, and spiritually despite the miles. Because remember, you're building a relationship that's not face to face, like we were saying earlier. It's not face to face, so you got to be a lot more savvier, more intentional. Like I think it's honestly going to be more of a challenge to be able
Correct.
to do that, and
It
it
is.
takes a different level of maturity to do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't be questioning everything, looking over your shoulder, this, that, and the other. It's all right. I gotta trust this is what it is. Keep it pushing. You know what I
Well,
mean?
now I would say this too, and then Crystal was about to make a point. But here's the thing: trust is not something that you just, oh, I'm just gonna give it to you. Trust should always, in person, whatever case it be earned. Because other than that, how do you know? So I mean, if you say, hey, I'm cool, I'm gonna try this long distance thing. Okay, that's cool. That's not a problem. But you can't just automatically just trust anything until
I
they show you
disagree.
that you
I
trust.
disagree with that. You know why I disagree? I disagree because I'm gonna give everybody I'm gonna trust you until you give me a reason not to. I can't sit here and make you earn something that you know what I'm saying. I can't make you earn something. I'm gonna say I'm gonna trust you until you give me a reason not to trust you. That's me. That's me talking. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's true.
That's
And
me.
there's people that's like that. So it's not like that's a hard to believe. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Brooklyn Bay said the visits made the relationship stronger and exciting. Yes, and again,
Yeah.
that's a long
Absolutely.
distance. That's long distance, but again, they're building something in person, which is what my whole point is. That you can start one on there fine, but to take it, that you got to get some in person time.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know, you got to get the in person in time, but again, it's all going to boil back down to the level of conversations that you have. Crystal, what you got? I know we took
Oh,
your lifeline for
um, I agree with what you said as far as the trust. I'm the same way. Even though my trust has been messed up in the past, I try not to hold other people accountable for the trust that somebody else messed up. And so I'm gonna trust you until you give me a reason not to trust. I mean, until you give me a reason to not trust you. So if you somebody who isn't willing to take that risk of being able to trust a person in a relationship, especially being that you're doing a long distance relationship, because you got to be a strong person to do a long distance relationship. You shouldn't be in a relationship, or you really should be getting yourself together, because really that's technically an insecurity. And when you have those type of insecurities, it sounds like you need to be building, with yourself and finding out, how can I heal these things or these traumas that I have. And because you got to love yourself first, but you also, it's going to be hard to date somebody when you don't have trust. But as far as long distance relationships, I do feel like those be the strongest relationships, only because it's giving that person, well, both parties, time to miss one another, to really fall in love with that, to really actually fall in love. Because when I fell in love, my first relationship where I was in love and I knew it was real love was because we had never had sex. I was a virgin and everything. And I was in love. I was in love with their boys, with their consistency with I fell in love with everything about that person, even the parts of them that I didn't feel I really, connected with, but
Right.
as far as yeah, but I do feel like as far as having a long distance relationship, I feel like those really be the strongest relationships. As far as like, I mean, it's kind of hard to really say that. How can you fall in love with every version of them when
Yeah.
when you talking to them every day? It's like, man, I can't wait to see you. Man, I can't wait. Those be the strong because you got time to miss them. I can't wait to come see you. I'm about to catch a flight just to come see you. All of that. So I don't know. That's all I gotta say.
No,
Wait.
I'm with you. Hold
So
on one second, Godmother. Give me 1 second. Everybody, I need you guys to like. I'm only at 3,000 likes. I need some likes, please, and thank you. Go ahead, Godmother.
Oh yeah, I'm tapping. Okay, and I was gonna say I do agree with that too, Crystal. Period. And what happens later on when I mean, like I said, if you done fell in love with this person or whatever, now guess what? We in love, we committed, now we live with each other and we see each other all the time. How, I mean, it's a certain thrill, granted, because like I said, absence makes the heart grow fonder. But then if it's real love, then it should be the same thing if we see each other every day, because now that's just something that makes your day, right? I mean, for the
What some people what their version of love is and how they display that love. But I know that men, a lot of men, their way of feeling the love is just respect, and ours is, we kind of want to see it. We want to see, okay, it's better said than done. Okay, it sound good, but let me show me. We want to hear you say it, but I can't say it got to a point to where but I know I love a person when I can come around you and really just be myself, and really like all the way from walking around without, my hair can be messed up. Um, I'm not too fond of my new body that I got because I done had kids and everything. So, walking around just any time, I don't care how I'm walking around. All the way from I just seen you pick a booger, because usually I don't like stuff like that. If I just seen you pick a booger, I ain't gonna I ain't gonna get you, I ain't gonna go in on you, all the way from walking in the bathroom, he taking a shower, somebody he's standing there brushing his teeth, and I take a boo-boo right in front of him. We can talk about anything, we can do it. It's almost like living, I ain't gonna say living with your brother or your sister because that's a little weird to compare.
right,
But it's also almost like living with your family, like you really just comfortable. Like it's almost like y'all was, I ain't gonna say made for each other, but y'all like family. Like we're like nothing. There's nothing
and that's my point. Yeah, exactly. That it don't matter what it is, and if you could do that in dating, that's even better, because that's the same thing, with me. Because I mean, was forever naked, because at the end of the day, that's what it is now. Even though it wasn't bad in front of the mirror, but whether it was or it wasn't, this is it. Like it or love it. You feel what I'm saying? And so that was a confidence I already had from the beginning. But I mean, when getting with it, I'm the same thing. Like the kids used to come home, my husband, I'm in the bathroom, I'm taking a number two. Here they coming in. He got a whole discussion. And I was like, boy, can I just, you know what I'm saying? He was like, girl, there ain't nothing. So, I mean, you do get that bond, there's no question. But I'm just saying, when you start talking about, I mean, that's once we get to that point, getting up to that point, falling in love, like for real. But the bottom line is, I think we can all agree on one thing. In order for us to cultivate a really strong relationship, we got to spend some in-person time. It don't matter how you start. I mean, I'm a component. Some people talk trash about online dating. I don't mind. I am abstinent, and my actual last relationships, there was no sex. So, I mean, that's the same thing, because at the end of the day, you just getting to know that person. I mean, to get to know me in a sexual way, that's a real intimacy that to me you have to earn. Because just because we hang out and we have fun, don't mean that you are open to this. But I still got a chance to know them, and we knew each other outside of the sexual part, period. So that does help you, with a much deeper bond. So,
No doubt. Well, welcome in, everybody. This is the 100 podcast. Topic for tonight is navigating long distance relationship, love across the miles. Kyoko's Place. You got anything you want to add to this, sis? I know you're shaking and moving right now. I don't know if she's in a position to say anything or whatnot, but let's see, I'll give her a couple seconds here. If not, you know me, I'll move to the next point. And she's not in position. Oh,
Peace,
and
Marlon.
she's not in position. Oh,
Not there. Can you hear me?
hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Sorry about that. If my phone goes off, it's because I'm delivering. Um, I think the only major difference between a long distance relationship and somebody who lives in the same state is the access. You are limited physical access to that person because they are out of state. But in terms of trust, you can have somebody who is unfaithful to you in person just as much as they could be faithful to you in person, whether it's long distance or not. In terms of, I think laying the foundation and the communication is the key. The brother who I'm with right now used to always say, when we were long distance, he actually moved here, but he's not the only long distance relationship I've ever had before. But the one thing that he used to say was, and still does, intimacy begins between the ears, not the legs. And when you think of it on that level, it is the type of communication that you are having with somebody in order to build the trust. Because of course you can give somebody the benefit of the doubt until they show and prove that everything that they say can be trusted, right? But I think it is the level of communication. I think it is the follow-up, the types of communication that you have, the level of care and concern, the intentionality that they actually have. For instance, he couldn't be here physically for things that I needed, right? But he would do things intentionally like, well, let me buy you lunch today. You know what I'm saying? Things that he could do from long distance to show that he cared and was invested in me. The time that we put in and the types of conversations that we would have would be the types of conversations and the time investment that I would want from somebody that was in person as well. So, and then when you actually do see them in person, then you want to see if they can follow through with all of the things that they have been saying and the foundation and the types of communication that you had long distance. And so, and of course he did. But I think it's the access. Physical is something completely different, because when you become physical with somebody, now you are not just investing your time and your emotions, but you're literally investing your body into somebody. And when you're doing that, then you are going into a different type of emotion and a bonding with someone else. And so it becomes a lot deeper. So you really want to be able to trust in the person that you go to that extent with when they come to visit or when they move to you and things like that. So, I think the communication and the foundation and the follow through is what is most important and essential, absolutely, when you're talking about long distance. Because as I said, you can get the same things from somebody as in person.
Let me just say what. Kiyoko, is my second name right?
Yes.
Kiyoko, is my second name right?
Yes.
So the way you talk is so smooth. But yes, that's 100%. And what we were saying, I was saying for sure, about that. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. I'm over here.
Did I cut out?
No, I think somebody did that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, that's
I'm
my
gonna mute you for a second.
okay. Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this too. How long were y'all met? Did y'all meet online?
Did you unmute?
Did you mute her, Marlon?
Okay, can you hear me now?
I was trying to. Okay, there you go. Go ahead.
I was trying to. Okay, there you go. Go ahead. Marley,
Okay, so the brother that I was with before the one that I'm with now, I met him. Now he actually passed recently, but I met him quite a few years ago, so over 5 years ago. And our main issue was neither one of us was willing to move. I wasn't willing to move to Virginia because I had too much stuff going on here in Georgia, and he had a whole life in Virginia, vice versa. So, but he traveled to me on more than one occasion. So it really wasn't an issue of wanting to be together or communication or trust. It was no one was willing to uproot and move. Now, the brother that I am with now, I've known him. This is probably like a television love story. We actually dated in college. We've known each other for 30 years. And we've always been friends, but not on a romantic level after. College, we were fresh out of high school. That wasn't real love, baby. I wasn't trying to get serious or anything like that. So I don't even really count that. But, in terms of dating, because it was quick, it was bada bing, bada boom. It was high school, college. It lasted, a few months and it was over. But we always stayed friends. And then almost a year ago, it became something else, when I was going through a situation, and he was actually
Sweetie, you are going the wrong way.
And doing more for me than the brother that I was actually dating. And so it developed out of that communication.
okay,
So
that's
a long
because I
time.
think because I think makes it easier because y'all did have a relationship, not a romantic relationship, but a relationship before y'all got into the you knew who that person was. So yeah, that makes sense. I was just curious.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
I
Go
can
ahead.
say that the guy that I told y'all about that was my first love. We grew up in the same church, so that's how we knew each other. Our families was very close. And my mom, she was the type that would give her opinion about people as far as, oh, I could see you dating such and such. He's such a good boy. He's great. I'll speak very highly of, so I'm like, okay, well, he ain't ugly. I guess I'll give him a shot. As we got to know one another, we got very close. And mind you, I was a virgin the whole time. So, that's how I knew it was real love as well. And when he got stationed in Germany and everything, I told you about the situation that happened with that as far as the cheating. But I can say one of my quotes that I used to always say was because okay, first off, okay, this was happened. Later on down the line, he came to me and asked me basically where did I stand as far as the love with him. And I was still heartbroken at the time, and I was in my stage of trying to move on and had people in my ear. And so I pretty much was kind of trying to stand on business, and come to find out, he asked me that because come to find out, he was actually getting married that next day.
Jack,
And yeah, and he ended up getting married and everything. And he still would hit me up even after that, trying to find out where my heart is and everything, and I still love him. And I used to always say, what was my quote? It was real love have no true love have no ending. No, real love wait, unconditional. I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Real love have no ending. Our unconditional love never ends. Something like that. I don't even remember what the doggone the thing was. But I always felt like it will, it'll found basically love will all, find its way if it's meant to be. And later on down the line, he and her ended up divorced, and he ended up back in Georgia. And the first person he come to and was me, and till this day he's been saying to me, the the offer is still up on the table. Basically he said that he want to take care of me and my kids and put us in the house and everything, take care of us. He wants to marry me. But, with me coming from a holiness church in my background, I do not believe in being with somebody who's been married and that person is still alive, because now I will be committing adultery, and I don't believe in doing something like that. It ain't no love worth that. But I can say that I do still have strong love for him, but I'm not in it. Ain't that type of love to where I'm gonna just go, marry the man. But yeah.
Well, now the thing with, let me ask you this question right here. Now, with that being said, because like we talked about military in general, and that's how most of it is. But then you said you got love for him, and I get that you did for for many reasons. But what I mean, when somebody tell you a lie, or they cheat, or they steal, that's a character thing, because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So it's them somebody else to date, but it's you later on, and it's like, and good for you that you knew better than to even entertain that, whether he had been married or not. But he chose somebody else. And don't get me wrong, sometimes in military they get married for BAQ and separations and that kind of stuff like that too. So I'm not saying what the situation was, but the point is we don't never want to be nobody backup plan, one, and then two, on top of that, again, he can take care of you and do all this other stuff, but under what pretenses, what you gonna have to deal with, because he showed you who he was. So that's another thought. So good for you.
Their true colors, believe it. But I'm not gonna, because like I said, he wasn't a bad person. I just knew at the time, with me being a young person, and when you're young and you have men that they've been experienced as far as having sex at a young age, like they in high school and already had started having sex and don't know how to put it on hold, or I mean, my mindset is just set up a little different when it comes to that, only because of the age that I am now. But I feel like I would have more understanding as far as, okay, I get that I'm not giving it up to you, and I'm not, because he did try to explain that to me. He did tell me the truth. He told me the truth in that whole thing that was going on. But and he tried to get me to understand that, I ain't giving it up to him, so he got to get it from someone. He's sexually active. But I didn't necessarily agree with the whole thing as far as you still, just having sex just to get your little rocks off. But I don't know. But my mindset is a little set up a little different now than that. Yeah.
Well, you got to get it. Even though y'all started early, I personally, I don't know if I would have. I mean, not. I would have did what you did, but not necessarily for those reasons. Because you got to get that out of your system. Young teenage boys or whatever. You either gonna choke the chicken, or you gonna, that's just what it is. So that I ain't gonna, I won't trip on that. Because he started. I'm the same, Marlon. I got brothers. Y'all know how y'all do it. So the point is, they all go through that stage, and it's good because they get all of that out of their system. And then, because you first, start, it's good. It feels good to everybody, right? So, they just keep on and boom, boom, boom. And men bond differently than women do. But
exactly.
So have you ever been married as of yet?
No, and I haven't, and I'm glad I haven't, because like I said, I don't feel like I was ready for the godly marriage, the real definition of a marriage. And what God had, the real definition of a marriage, taking on a covenant and doing God's assignment, fulfilling God's assignment, because I was nowhere near there. I didn't even have a real relationship with God. I was just going to church thinking that because I sing in the choir and I'm giving my testimony and, write my notes in church that I'm doing something,
Yeah, right.
But I can say I do agree with what Next Level said, where he said no self-control. But self-control is what? A fruit of the spirit, correct? So when you build that relationship with God, you develop and you get them fruits of the spirit, you learn to have self-control. Because I can't say I'm glad that I did hold myself as far as being a virgin until I got older. Only because back then I now understand why a lot of them females had high body counts, it was loose as a goose. Because that sex is something else now. It about make you want to, jump on some of everything. Like you said, go choke a chicken and all that and stuff. So I mean, I can understand as far as when you're young and you're sex is a married person's thing. First off, it's a married person's trait. It's you ain't even supposed to be having sex. That's why you're supposed to wait till marriage.
It's a married person's advantage.
Yeah. So once you done stuck your foot in hot water and you thinking, you ain't coming back from that. So stop. I'm sorry. What?
That sound pretty intense.
Right.
You
Yeah.
gotta pause on choking on the chicken.
I can't. Look. All right.
Pause on choking.
Point, right?
I'm on the floor.
Number 5. Conflict without contact. Just because you're in a long distance relationship don't mean you won't have disagreements.
Of course you are.
You're going to have some disagreements, right? Because you got to understand the point where you're at in this particular relationship is going to be very challenging, right? Because those arguments or disagreements are going to hit a whole lot harder because you're not going to be there physically to soothe that person's emotions.
I agree. When it comes to conflict, I can definitely say that okay, I'm the type that I kind of want to see. I might press your buttons a little bit. I'm gonna be honest. I might press your buttons just to see how you react. Kind of test you in a little bit just to see how far are you gonna knock my head off. Okay, but if you're a man who's going to go back and forth with me and I almost act like a female, I'm not with that. I've learned over time that if a man argue with a female, that you ain't supposed to argue with no female. Say what you gotta say and be done with it. Put your foot down. Let me go argue with the wall and be mad at myself because you won't argue with me. But y'all should be able to communication is key. Once again, if y'all can't talk that thing out, or y'all take a woo-saw, whether you go drive or step out, get some fresh air or however, then something need to be done as far as the communication. Y'all might need to take up some counseling or something because the communication ain't there if y'all can't just have a what you call it, a civilized conversation.
Correct. Or effective communication in general. That's right.
Keita, I don't know what this is on my head, man. Stuff just be popping up in TikTok. I don't know. I move with it. Y'all can all see that? It's a turkey.
Yes. SpongeBob and Patrick.
Man, look, I don't know how that got there. I'm just here. I'm just here. All right.
Your likes, your hearts, they don't show up as regular hearts. They show up as SpongeBob and Patrick. I was like, how he did that?
And what that was, the stars or something. Yeah, okay.
Oh, God, I didn't know that. Oh, well. There it is. Everything depends on your tone, timing, and emotional awareness when you are in that long distance relationship. And here's our special guest. Yo, my son just made it in. He's at work. Gnome Bridge. This is who we've been. This whole podcast has actually been, to give him a little help and guidance. Here's my son. He's about to jump in here. Let me bring him up. All right, I just brought him. I'm gonna bring him up right quick. But just while he's coming up, guys, Kyoko did say, tell everyone good night and God bless. Stay blessed. Galen, what's good, son?
Hear me?
Yes.
Oh, hold on. How do I turn that? Oh, what's up? What's up?
What's up?
Hey there, man. What's going on? How y'all doing?
Good. Man. Good.
Hey.
Hey, what's up? Who we got on?
So we got the godmother, we got Crystal.
Hey.
We got a lot of other people in the comments, man. So,
All right.
man, we've been hitting a lot of points. Of course, you'll have to catch it later on on the YouTube when I upload it, so you can catch everything else.
Okay.
Can I say something
Go
to
for it.
who is that Next Level where he said he don't agree? I'm sorry, I'm not sure if it's a he or she, but where they said some women gotta stop with the if a man argues with a woman is sassy. No, I'm not saying it's sassy as far as arguing with a woman, but it is a bitch trait. It's
Same
very
thing.
like
Define
bitchy.
argument. Define
Exactly,
arguing.
that's what I mean. You have to say what you, as a man, say what you got to say. You're the head. So therefore, say what you got to say and put your foot down. Let her go argue with the wall, but don't go back and forth with her. Say exactly what you got to say and stand on that. Let it be that. Let her go argue with the wall, because some females like to go back and forth and
Back and
they
forth.
ain't gonna stop.
Correct. You can go through and say that, and now, I don't know who got the noise in the background, but yeah, you definitely ain't got to go back and forth and be arguing with nobody, because that's not good. Anyway, you can express yourself without arguing, and men who argue are definitely deemed sassy. Nobody got time for
Okay.
that.
Well, we okay. We gonna leave that right there for a second, then. So, Godmother, one of the biggest points that we was gonna hit was, so Kayla, when we jumped on, the biggest thing was what's the end result of the long distance relationship, right? So number 6 is the future talk.
Where's the noise coming from? There's too much noise in the
That
background.
might be me. Hold on.
Let them walk away right quick. I'm gonna mute him right quick while he's walking. All right. The future talk. Are we moving towards each other? So every long distance relationship needs direction, right? So without a plan, it turns into an emotional limbo. We sit here, it's in limbo because we haven't been intentional about certain conversations, like we said in the beginning, right?
Correct.
Couples got to talk about timelines,
Right.
relocation options, career goals, and what the end goal looks like. What you said in the beginning, Godmother, when we first jumped on, like, oh wow, this is deep. Like, okay, what's the end goal? You know, I don't know. Again, like I said, I didn't have a conversation with my son about it. What was the end goal? But I know the type of man that he is, so I know that that level of conversation had to have happened of what the end goal is going to end up being. Let me see if he's I can bring him back on.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
All right. So,
What does future
so
talk look like for you?
okay. All right. So, just to give you guys a little bit of context, she's my partner lives overseas, and it. I mean, I didn't even want a long distance relationship. I didn't, but I just so happened to end up in one because the energy was just right, and it just happened to be something that made sense.
So what's the end goal?
So basically, we want to. We're thinking about going to Thailand, and we've already started calculating, living costs, the other costs such as like transportation, looking at the community in the area, stuff like that. But it's not going to be like a hasty jump because we're going to make sure it's done right, properly,
Right.
and we're going to make sure we the living expenses out there is not high at all. And the type of community that I like, that we both want to live in, they have that community. Like it's artsy. There's nature. There's a spiritual community out there. It just makes sense. So we have some sort of timeline for it, but it's not, like we're striving for it. But if it ain't, it's like if we have to go like, extra few months or so, so be it. Or if we,
Oh no, I was gonna say, yeah, I'm really familiar with Thailand. I've heard several people say how nice it is over
Yeah.
there, and I
Yeah.
actually have a couple of agents over here that have been over there and talk about the cost of living. But when I said it like the end goal, I meant like so far as like you and her, and also just so we clear, we are not, like jumping on you. I'm just asking questions for discovery. I'm just trying to get a better understanding.
When you
But
say
so
end goal,
end goal between you and the young lady.
we are already in a partnership, and we want to live together, and we're going to continue to live together and build on our connection. If a marriage was in the talks, it's not something that we are like rushing. We've had a lot. We spent a lot of time communicating how we feel, and it's always been. We've always been on the same page. We've worked. We've. If there's anything that we had any kind of concern with, or whatever the case may be, we just talk it out, and we're very transparent. Like
Which
there's
is
no there's no BS. We're just honest about everything.
Yeah, which is good.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, 1 second. I don't think so, actually.
I'm gonna let you sign it when I get back.
All right. Sorry about that.
No, you good.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's. I mean,
So marriage is
yeah,
something.
somebody's.
So marriage is something that y'all thinking about in a time, because right now y'all been together for a
Well,
while, but y'all haven't been like together
what,
together. Like y'all
let me.
lived together for a little bit. So
So let me rephrase that. So we're not talking about getting married. She's expressed to me that she would like to be married, but it's not something that she is trying to force. You know what I'm saying? I am open to the idea. I wasn't always open to marriage because of my old beliefs about it. But a lot of my beliefs changed when I connected with her. When I found her, I opened up to a lot of different ideals that made sense for me, made sense for the version of me now, of who I am now. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
Gotcha.
So let me say this, young man. That is something that women won't. And forgive me, I'm not trying to be a male chauvinistic about this statement, but women just won't know it. A man will consider marriage when he meets the right person, when he meets that person and he actually considers or thinks about it. So you're exactly right, and that's
yes.
something only a man will get. That and
Yeah.
that's it. So you are in the right place, my friend. You
I, I,
definitely
Yes.
are.
I
Well,
believe
now let me
so.
just
Thank
say
you.
this, big
Um,
guy too. I do agree with that because I know that that's the case as well. Because I mean, again, I was raised well, mother and father, but my father gave certain things, and he just said when you just know whether somebody's wasting your time based off what it was, and he said the exact thing, which is since he met her, his ideals have changed. So that's what's up. So that's a
Yeah.
good thing.
yeah. And with her, the, I mean, I know her, like we know each other on a very deep level. So I can't say that she is my soulmate. So that's why a lot of those old belief systems just kind of faded. I was able to overcome a lot of those.
That's right.
Because it just makes sense with her. I don't have any concerns or insecurities in the relationship. We've talked everything out. We've helped heal each other's childhood wounds. We reassure each other. She like just recently, she expressed to me how, I could step up, and I took accountability for that. And then, you know, ironically, she did something recently that I had to, sort of check her on, but respectfully, and because we are a counterbalance for each other. So what that means is my challenges directly impacts her deepest wounds, and vice versa. That's how. So basically, we compel each other to elevate, because we won't take anything less than what we feel we deserve. Like like what we require to, to keep our balance, our peace, and make sure the connection stays, what it is, as pure as it needs to be.
Well, you sound like
So,
you answered a lot of questions, which I would say based off of that little bit is definitely godmother approved. It sounds like a man that truly does feel like he's in love. You do have a direction that you're going in and taking steps to ensure longevity, and there's nothing wrong with that. And that's good. So like you said, y'all not in a rush, but you do have intentions on continuing to do the work and the investigation on what it is to live in Thailand, etc., and all that other stuff like that. But the way that the way you talk, that you all make each other feel, that's good. And of course, like anything else, right? Flowers need sunshine and rain, so every day won't be sunshine. But like you
right,
said, when
right.
you can check, because you are the man, you should lead, protect, and provide. So that's good that you understand that, and you can check things. As Crystal said earlier, you're not being disrespectful, but you want to just deal with that, and there's nothing wrong with that, and that's what you should be doing because that's your position. So good
Yeah.
for you. All right.
I,
Yeah.
I see our relationship as a partnership. So, well, like you said, I do have a provider-like kind of mentality, but I still look at us as a team. You know what I'm saying?
As you should.
We work together.
Yeah.
Well,
a lot of things.
y'all should always be a team, but in the team, there's some equal, but there's certain things that God called you to be. It's why you built differently. You know what I'm saying? So you still you the thing about being an effective leader, and people don't understand this, is seeing how it affects the other ones. It's not so much as that, oh, I'm the boss and I make all decisions. No, but you want to look at the entire picture, which does seem like you take that kind of thing into consideration because you keep reiterating about the partnership, which is a beautiful thing. It's good.
It's a counterbalance. Again, it's a counterbalance.
Yeah.
Like I fill the gaps where needed, and she fills the gaps where that she could fill. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the balance.
And that's the
Yeah.
role. You know what I'm saying? That's like
Yeah.
a man is the head and the woman is, the neck. She's always going to look out for what your best
100.
interest is, and she's always going to hold you accountable of when you say certain things. Like, I look at my wife. I might
As
be
she
the head of
should.
the house, but when she say, you know what, something ain't looking right, she gonna tell me, and I have to take heed to that because
Yeah.
I look for her to give me that support. I look for her to watch my back because I'm sitting here looking forward.
Yeah.
Correct. And even when he said, too, he said, check them on something, he stepped up. So that's good that she's, communicating enough to let you know, hey, this needs to be done, and answer the call.
Come on, big dog.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, we never know on nothing how it's going to work, but I will say, like I said, this is godmother approved because I like the way he did answer that. It's very responsible, very mature, and again, it's not. We never know until we know, right? But the thing about it is, you got the right things. Not so much where she looked good, and you're not living all in the fantasy. It's real things, so that's really good. That's exciting. I'm happy for you and looking forward to hearing great things.
Thank you. Question: Was there any particular like topic that y'all covered that was just like very? I'm just curious. Was it very like controversial or where like people just couldn't really see eye to eye on, or was there
No,
any topic?
but it's always that. But I wouldn't say controversial.
Right.
I would say basically like 33 at the time, and you obviously will go back and watch it. He was saying about being biased upon something because I was saying it could work, but then there's a lot of times when they don't work. But there was a lot of questions that we had and Marlon didn't know the answer to. You know what I'm saying? And everybody basically said the same thing, which is what's the end goal. And you do,
Yeah.
have a mindset, and
Yeah.
and so y'all going toward a particular
Yeah.
direction. So yeah, that makes sense.
Because what I gave,
Well,
I gave
another thing-
them a highlight in the beginning, but I said there was a lot of information that I couldn't answer, that you had to come on and actually tell about. So
Got you.
Another part was, whether you guys' story was an actual reality or was it, some sort of just put together whim type of fantasy type of deal. to see, would it be something that will work, or would it be something that, you guys are kind of experimenting with? Uh,
That's interesting. That's a good. That's a good.
Basically,
Sorry.
basically just wanting to know, is it reality?
Right.
And
Right.
I made the statement of the reality is what you two make it, because it's you guys' story. You all have to write that. Y'all have to put that together.
Right.
And
Right.
that brought about the part of the conversation of, you know, where do you put it together at? Do you do it in Germany? Do you do it here? Do you do it halfway? That's solely up to you all. It's what
Yeah.
you two make it.
Yeah. We're open to any changes that might, come up in the process. We know what we would like to do. It's funny you said that because I had a talk with another friend who he didn't necessarily oppose the idea, but he had reasons as to why he thought I should wait a little bit longer, and I didn't disagree with anything he said, because he had a really good point, and he was saying that, well, you haven't seen her like that many times, and you haven't lived with her, so you don't know what the day to day would be like. And he was talking about my all right. He was talking about my support system that's in America.
Sorry for interrupting you. One second.
Yeah.
I got one question. At any point did he ever say to you, "Well, this is what I would do," or "This is something"? Did he ever say anything to you like that?
So he came from a point where he was coming from what he understands about me, because
Right.
I haven't talked to him. Before that day, it had been a long time since we actually hung out. So I don't think he really knows the person that I am now, because I think the person that he's referring to, the version of me that he's referring to, I can see how that version of myself did need to have a little bit more discernment in certain cases. So
And
he's coming.
this is your good friend you said from
Yeah, he's a close friend. He's looking out. He's just looking out
yeah,
for me.
that's right.
You
That's
know what I'm
right. And you
saying?
know what? And I want to say, hold that point right there too. And I love that for you and him, because one, you're not so knuckleheaded that you weren't open to hear, and like you said, he understands an earlier part of you. And when we talked about it, that's what we were saying. Well, what we're saying from before, it depends on a lot of things. But again, he gave you what a friend would do, which is okay, blah, 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 blah. And that's always ultimately up to your choice. But you're also smart enough to be open minded. And then, of course, you'll make your own decision based off of whatever, So, yeah, that's good.
I sat with that point for a
I
long
don't understand
time.
why you would. Nothing. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I sat with that point for a long time, and I even wrote about it. Because Julie, my partner, she really had to push me to go to actually make that decision. Because for a long time, I actually did want to travel overseas, and live overseas. I've had opportunities, and for some reason, I had a belief that I didn't think it was possible. So I always hesitated, but it took her a lot to push me to the idea. And the way she brought it up made sense. She's actually lived there before. She's traveled and lived in many different countries. So she's very familiar with the environment, with how the living situation out there works, what the expenses are like, what's the market's like. She's very familiar with it. So I do have trust in her in that, in that degree. You know what I'm saying?
Have you been there yet?
To Thailand, no. I've been to other countries,
right.
over there, and I've been to Germany quite a few times. I'm actually going next month to see her,
Okay.
and I'm gonna meet her mom. But yeah, she's been here, and she's met my mom, everything, and it's see, my friend, he's on different occasions he's seen me talk about women, and it wasn't all the way there. It didn't work out. But he hasn't seen me in such a long time. So the whole day-to-day thing, my opinion, I don't think I'm worried about that because
Right.
I really know her. I'm not worried about that at all.
Well,
So
no,
he
Well,
has
that's
the
the point.
input
That's the
part.
Yeah.
point.
He just
Yeah.
hadn't
that
seen
is
the
a
growth
Yeah.
that you
Yeah.
had. That's what it
Yeah.
had.
Yeah.
He hadn't seen
and
the
and
That's
growth.
the point.
it's just a natural thing too because now you're older. So like you said, we all, and I said that earlier, we all have a earlier stage, right? And then as you get older, of course you mature and you grow into the man that you are becoming, which is good. So like I said, but the thing about it is again, is smart, very smart. I don't care what it is in life, in life, this decision, whatever, that you are at least smart enough to at least listen and make your own decisions, but listen. And like you said, you took it and you ponder it because at the end of the day, people who love you now, we're not talking about every Tom, Dick, and Harry, but we're talking about people who know you and love you. Then, okay, they're saying it from a point, and that was one of the things that when 33 and I were talking from the beginning, he asked me about opinions. And I said, it may sound a little biased. He said, don't be biased. And I said, it's not biased. It's my opinion. So whether it was asked for or whatever, a good friend is going to tell you whatever. And again, you're going to ultimately make whatever decision you make, but they're going to say something because you mean something to them. And it's good that, like
No,
I said,
that's a
you're
part.
so
That's a
smart.
part of it.
Yeah.
That's a part of it, but that's not the angle that I was coming from with it. When you gave the bias part, the bias part, it was set up on that premise, but it would. I'll go back to say when I asked you what I asked you before you started speaking on it. Had he said I at any point, you actually said what I thought that he might have said. Because my next question was, now was he thinking of you from the relationship that he's known you over time, or is this something that he's speaking about with knowing you right now in the relationship that you've shared with him about this young lady? Where is he coming from it with? Because if it was in fact a statement or directing or a direction of his opinion, then yeah, it is a bias. It's a bias of him, but knowing you, which is also correct, and that's fine. But ultimately it's your decision. Don't let his bias or his opinion sway your decision, but absolutely accept it, listen to it, take heed in what he's saying, but don't let anybody change your opinion or what it is that you're working, especially if you are in communication with your significant other, because that's the conversation you guys have, not the conversation that your loved ones have,
Well,
because
now I
they
was,
love you. Hold on,
no,
they
go
love
ahead.
you differently than your significant other. So that's all I mean when I say, make sure that you hear and you are listening and taking heed to what, uh, godmother has to say, what your dad has to say, your mom has to say, and you use that, you build off of that, but it's yours that you're building, not theirs.
Well,
Right.
and I was going to say as well with that too, and I don't totally disagree. But the thing about that is, again, the key is being open because sometimes people give you a different perspective because you're what 33 now. You're 33. You're 33.
Absolutely, I agree with
Not
that
you. No,
for
no. I'm
sure.
talking about
No,
what?
I'm
I know.
32.
Yeah, you're 32.
32.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Marlon gave you extra year. Okay, cool. So you're 32. I'm
Look,
saying
man,
32
I'm old. I
is
can't remember
is
stuff no more.
32 is the age, as I said before, that men start thinking more about their futures and if they're going to get married and that kind of stuff like that. So it's a good age. And again, you're 32, but like for example, I'm 54, and the daddy is you're more than 48.
48.
48. So sometimes we give a perspective that you haven't seen. But as I said, the thing about it is that this thing with you is that you are smart enough to at least listen, and that's all a person can ask, and you can make your decision the way that based off of, because unlike the woman that you may be talking to, and I'm not saying that she don't, but I'm saying these people, your parents, your father, your mom, and even your best friend have a long-term relationship with you, and they know you and they want to give you what's good. But it just so happened, like you said, you can attest that, hey, I'm different than where I was back when you remember me, blah, blah, blah. And so now I am, I've thought about all those things and I am. So those are very educated. That's an educated decision, which is what all as parents we want for you all, just to make good educated decisions. So again, kudos.
I appreciate all the insight I can get,
Yeah, you're welcome.
because I mean, you need other perspectives. You just
Yeah.
you need them.
I mean, it's like when you and I talked about it, and I said, you know what? I got a panel of people that are real. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna come with realness and whatnot, whether they're up on the panel or whether in the comments. People that are gonna give you truth. You know what I'm saying? It's different perspectives, like you're looking for, and because this is something different. You know what I'm saying? Me watching you, grow up and whatnot, and everything that you have faced in life, it would be a disservice to you if I didn't put something else in front of you to give you more perspective.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Because I want you to have open eyes to everything. What's that, man?
That is that part. That's exactly the part that I was talking about.
Yeah.
When we took all the way off, and my hat goes off to you for just that. You know what I'm saying? Having this space, having this panel to be able to get Godmother's opinion, to be able to get my opinion, Keita, Peachy Tay, Brooklyn, Next Level, all of these things this young man is able to put together and hear, whether it be a respectful debate or conversation or agree to disagree. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. And everybody should be able to do that. And even in relationships. And when you can and you do it with respect, and that's the biggest thing, bro, is just making sure that you respect your situation, the conversation, the person.
We don't.
Everything is built off of that. Everything.
We're not gonna disrespect each other, man. We don't want
right.
to talk. We don't talk to each other like that, man.
That's
Right.
a win. You're already winning.
Now,
You're
can
already
I ask you a
winning.
question? Hey, can I ask you a question?
What you got, Chris?
May I ask do you believe in God?
You're talking to me, right?
Yeah.
I believe in the Creator. Yes.
Okay. I just want you to hear me out on what I have to say because
One second.
okay.
I'm not religious, just so you know. I'm not Christian, but I do believe in the Creator. I don't
Well,
identify.
I would say still hear me out on what I'm about to say.
I just want to give you that heads up.
I understand. Okay, well, I'm not going to say I'm religious, but I do believe in God as far as, because, religion is a whole different thing, but I feel like when it comes to the Bible can change you and you build your own relationship with God, get your own understanding on who God is. But I can say that when it comes to building a relationship with God and talking to him, just having your own relationship, you can avoid a lot of things in life when you really learn, like if you really go to him when anything happens, whether it's a job, a marriage, whether it's anything, if you consult with him on it first, as far as, is this your person? Is this who you have ordained for me to be with? Because for one, you have to understand the true meaning of marriage. A lot of people don't understand what marriage is. Knowing, being that it's a biblical thing, it comes from it's a biblical thing. It's not like, oh, I'm in love with this person, so yeah, we're gonna go get married. No, you're taking on a covenant, not just a relationship, not just a contract, and definitely not just a title. It's a sacred, God-designed union between two people becoming one in the flesh that reflects God, love, order, and purpose. So you have to keep the mindset that when it comes to when two or more are gathered in his name, the devil will come 10 times harder, because two or more are gathered. Y'all together all the time, or however that goes, so he's going to come after your marriage. So you have to make sure that you're equal. For one, you're equally yoked in the spirit with that person that you are with. And two, that y'all have the relationship with God because you have to have the full armor of God on when it comes to, the devil, because he's going to come hard up against y'all, against that marriage. It's just life, period. He's going to come 10 times harder because, like I said, it's a covenant. Y'all taking on an assignment that come, with God. If you're taking on an assignment, doing God's work. But yeah, that's all. I just, and let me just read this verse. Be ye not equally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness, and what communion have light with darkness? So that's all I wanted. I just want to leave that there.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Um,
no doubt.
So
No
with
doubt.
that, I wanted to say too, you said that you don't believe in God, you
I didn't say
believe in the
that.
Creator.
No.
I said,
Oh no,
well,
You said, yeah, that's right, that's right. You
I
said
said,
you believe that there's
I believe in the Creator.
right.
From my perspective, God, the Creator, is the same thing.
Egg, never mind. I ain't got to say nothing else. You just said it. You just said it
Yeah.
because I was going to say, the create. If there's a creator, there's a destroyer. You know what I'm saying? And I look at the enemy as a destroyer. But people, from what I've seen and conversations that I've had, I'm like, the same way we talk to God, the same way we talk to our Creator, is the same way you could talk to the enemy. I stand fast and tell him, I rebuke you. You know what I mean? If anything, you want to pass, the enemy tries to point out my worst to me. I can point out his worst to him. Dude, you got kicked out of heaven.
Yeah.
Who
That
gets
part.
kicked out of heaven?
Yeah.
So the same way you try to destroy me, I can come back at you, but I don't have to. You know what I'm saying? And I say all of that to say is that, as long as your walk is strong, then you're good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I'm very sensible. I am humble enough to receive help or advice. I do operate from a point from love, compassion, and discernment.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. Oh man, sorry about that. But as what's her name? I am love support.
Crystal.
Crystal. I have my own personal relationship with the Most High. I got closer this past year. Actually, I opened up more. Just throughout because a lot of the things I went through. I went through some very compelling and trying times this past year, and I don't necessarily follow the same doctrine as people from the church do. But at the same time, I have a connection, and it works. It works for me. It works for me, and that's the I think that's the whole point of of relationships. I feel like part of it is if you guys have something that you find sacred, that you find wholesome, just protect it, and it doesn't. Nobody else really needs to, have, unless you allow it, have a say so. Like it's y'all's. It's your home. It's your sanctuary. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. The one thing that God gave us is all free will. So our free will is to figure out how we need to serve, how we need it to serve in whatever capacity that is.
And I do believe there is a purpose. There is a major purpose for us too.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure. There's a service that we are destined to provide for sure.
Oh yeah, yeah.
We both believe that.
We've had.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
But I know you're about to try to get back at it. But I'm gonna give you one more point before I leave. Number 7 was signs that is working. I definitely want you to know the signs that what you're doing now is working.
It's working.
as well as signs that it could be to potentially falling apart. This is the awareness key part, right?
Signs
Signs
that
that it's
our
working.
relationship is working.
Correct. It's working because how you have been talking, you feel secure without even physically being together.
I feel like she's here with me right now. That's how I feel.
All right. You made mention about effort from both parts.
Hmm.
You both feel consistent. You know what I'm saying? These are all good things.
Hmm.
Your communication with Julie is natural. It's not like it's forced. And
Right.
the emotional support that you guys are giving each other with the intentional check-in, and the biggest thing that you said was about the mutual respect. Like y'all don't call each other out of your names and all of that stuff. You
No,
know what I'm
that doesn't
saying?
help anything, man.
No.
I'm so glad
Now,
that we grew out of a lot of misaligned patterns. You know what I'm saying? I
yeah,
mean, we we're still healing, but we're at a point where we can communicate our triggers. We can talk about. We can get deep, and we can hold space
yeah.
for each other, every time.
That was the
And
key right there. You hold space for each other to have vulnerability.
exactly.
No, that thing misaligning. I know that's right.
Boy,
Let me tell you something.
come
When
on.
the name of my real estate company is Align Right. When things align right, baby, they are working. So I love that. I love, and also triggers, because that's very true too. Because a lot of times you have some people who they got past traumas or whatever the case may be, but when you're able to communicate with each other and check yourself,
Hmm.
you're going to make it.
Hmm.
And like I said, and most of all, and Marlon, I don't know if you got all your points out, but what I think is, if the biggest thing is, he ain't a knucklehead. Okay, he is
No,
not a
no, he's
knucklehead.
not, man.
Very,
No.
just a very well-rounded young man.
Yes.
And again,
Yes.
with
Thank
the
you.
attitude that you have with approaching life, and as your relationship will get deeper with God as time go on, because that's just what
Hmm.
He does. But like I had mentioned actually to Crystal before, I said sometimes some people don't even have a relationship. But I mean,
Hmm.
my first husband was an atheist. You know what I'm saying? But I thank God for the what I had, and I learned. Of course, I would never do that now. But again, you have that whole, you got a wholeness. So I'm, again, like I said, I'm looking forward to hearing more great things from you and Julie. And I would say go over to Thailand and too, what I'm saying, just to visit. But I mean, I've only actually heard really good things about Thailand. So I mean, really great things. So I think you'll be fine one way or the other. But keep God first, and that intimate relationship that you have with Him to keep you in that position. But the open communication, the idea of a partnership, there's certain things that you will lead on, and she will assist you on. It's just the right thing. And I mean, Molly, also kudos to you, because I'm sure you and your wife have given him some type of example to go by. And I mean, like I said, you take it lightly, but I'm definitely a disciplinarian, for sure. But this is so godmother approved with me. I'm telling you, I'm so proud and excited to see your next chapter. So
What?
that's what's
No,
up,
no, absolutely. His mother has put in a lot in him. His bio father has put in a lot. I have put
which
in
is
a lot.
awesome.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like it's not, and even my wife. It's a whole community. You know what I'm saying? It's a community
Yes, it's a
here.
village. Your
You
village
know what I'm
has
saying?
his
It's
village has
not
come
just
through.
yeah. I cannot take that. It's all of us. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
And
Yeah.
it's beautiful. It's
um,
beautiful.
I can say that I have had I've had good people around me to
Yes, you
support me.
have.
But I can also say that I've had my challenges too.
You're going to have your challenges. That's natural.
yeah,
Because I can say this. My mom, she raised four boys, for the most part by herself. Marlon came in a little bit later on, when I was like 14.
yeah.
But she had to it was her decision to move to Georgia and raise us by herself.
Right.
So my father, he was we would see him, but we moved further and further away, and he was a struggling parent. So it wasn't a lot, that he could do. There's things that he could have done as far as communication, but because I was so far away, we didn't get that a lot of interaction. My mom, on the other hand, she's basically raising us, but she's also in survival mode herself. So there's only so much a mom can teach 4 boys, by herself.
Right.
Without the type of structure from the masculine figure, a lot of that stuff I had to learn throughout my journey. You see?
Right.
Yeah.
So this relationship has also helped me. I mean, granted, I learned some things, on my, beforehand, but it also has opened up so much in me too, as far as, man, I'm just simply put, just being a man, so,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
but
I mean, and that's your
It's gonna
journey,
hit
man.
different.
yeah,
You know
Yeah,
what
I was
I'm
about to say
saying?
that's your journey, and
That's
it's gonna
your
hit
journey,
different because that's how it applies to
you
you.
know?
It's awesome.
yeah,
And to be a part of the journey, I mean, like everybody on here don't know that we sit on the phone for hours, hours, and talk about everything. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying, all I can continuously say is how proud I am to see, what I'm saying, the man that you have grown up into to being, and throughout the struggles, throughout your choices, throughout your decisions that you've made. You know what I'm saying? I don't ever fault you on any of your decisions. You got to do what you got to do best for you. That was one of the things you know, when my moment was with you guys was to teach you certain things. You know what I'm saying? Um, and I look back at those things and I see it. You know what I'm saying? That those certain things that how you move, I go, okay, yeah, because again, seeing certain things is the biggest sometimes one of the biggest teachers is of seeing the reality of things. You know what I'm saying? And I love where you at. You know what I'm saying? I love where you at.
thank you, it came a long way.
Yeah,
It's still a ways to go though, still a ways to go, man.
yeah. And I'm gonna leave you with this part right here.
Yeah, keep living. You're gonna see some
You're
even
gonna see
more
some things,
natural.
boy. Um, when a long distance relationship works, it's because both people chose each other repeatedly. I need to highlight that word repeatedly. It's not just a one time, one and done. It's repeatedly choosing each other. And when it fails, it's usually due to somebody that's having emotional neglect, unpredictability, or a lack of a shared direction, which I do not see that you guys are doing because of everything that you said tonight, man. Um, you got a direction, and that's the biggest thing. As long as you got a direction of where you're going, there's endless possibilities.
Yo,
You know what I mean?
I can share. When you were talking about always choosing her. So in the beginning of our when we first started connecting, she was actually in a relationship. So I don't I don't cross any boundaries or anything like that. So she and her partner knew about us. So we just got to know each other and like on a because we were both artists. And the reason someone asked in the comments too on the chat, has it always been long distance? Yes, it has, because I found her scrolling, just scrolling, because I was looking for like-minded, people. You know what I'm saying? And I just saw a status. I was like, oh, I resonate with that. So I followed. She happened to be an artist, so we connected on that, and we happened to share some of the same beliefs at the same time. So over time, the connection just grew. But I mean, from the jump, though, I I told her what my situation was, because I was homeless at the time. I was homeless. That's when I told you, like, the past year has been, you know what I'm saying, crazy. Beautiful at the same time, though. But yeah, so that was my thing, and I wasn't looking for a relationship, and also my preference was melanated women. She's German white. I told her that. Like, she knew that.
Yeah.
So over time, the thing that helped me transcend all of these preferences was the energy. It was the energy, because I had never met anyone who was as aware as me, who could hold space for me, and who can receive all that I could give, from a mental, and intellectual, spiritual, emotional level. You know what I'm saying? I was very impressed by her, and I stuck with her. Her relationship with the other guy was already kind of ending. I think that I was the catalyst. Because her partner wasn't able to really receive her in the way that she needed, and he was doing some shit too. Anyway, yeah. So in the back of my mind, here's the crazy thing about beliefs. If you're not open enough to just hear other people out and to look, just think outside of yourself, once in a while, because the thing about beliefs, man, they're powerful, and we all identify very strongly with a belief system. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what the belief is. That's why religion is as powerful as it is, because it's who we it's what we identify as, from our core system. You know what I'm saying? So this whole the thing about the black preference I had was I had started studying melanin, learning more about melanin, what it is, what it means to have more melanin. I also just start doing deep dives in just spirituality in general. So I became more and more, I should say, my preference for melanated women just increased. So when I was talking with her, that belief would always come back just out of the random moments. Something would come up in a talk with us having discussions about, because I'm reading something about history that happened, to black people, and I'm doing all this stuff, and this is the history behind, colonialization, and I didn't even realize the person that I was becoming. You know what I'm saying? So it got to a point to where the love I had for her grew so much, it didn't make sense to hold on to that belief, and I had to let it go. And I let it go. I mean, I went on a walk one morning. I like to do morning walks. Just meditate. They're so nice, and I just think to myself a lot, and I just so many reflections I'll have, and I thought about how much she means to me, and then that belief came up, and I was like, man, that don't make sense. I gotta let that go, because we can't work if I continue to hold on to it. You know what I'm saying? So I loved her enough to look beyond all of that, all those preferences. And the moment I let that belief go, I can give you an analogy. Imagine taking rocks out of a river that's been blocking the water from flowing. It felt like I removed all the rocks, and the river is like love, for example. And it felt like I was able to just flow, love just start flowing,
You got out your own way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That. Because we get stuck
And
a
she
lot of times.
allowed you to be you.
Yeah,
She
the
allowed
whole
you to be
time
That
she
you,
part.
she she
without
Wow.
trying to
exactly
sway you to be something different. Yeah,
exactly
yeah,
exactly. She was patient with me the whole time. Crazy, crazy. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
Well,
Hey
that's
Yo,
man, you
I
know,
mean
look,
that's what love
that's
does do.
powerful.
yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what love does do. That's definitely
yeah.
what love does do, and it's good to see you with that. Now, I personally still want my chocolate, but that's what's up. I mean,
I feel you.
Oh,
No, I feel you.
but I had a piece of vanilla before, and it was good. So I'm not hating. I'm just saying. So
Yeah, yeah,
congratulations on that, for real though.
yeah. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
look,
well,
the
one thing
main
is for
thing
sure,
is as long as
you
you're
wide open,
happy,
and it's good. Yeah, I was about to say you wide open, and it is beautiful to hear
yeah,
you talk about it so innocently. I love it. So
yeah.
again,
The
blessings
main
for
thing
you.
is as long as you're happy and that the one thing I always encourage is make sure that you guys still are continuously happy with yourselves and you can make yourself happy and not depend on the other person to make you happy, but the other person to add to your happiness.
Yeah,
You know what
that
I'm
sounds like
saying?
that sounds like attachment.
That's huh?
That almost sounds like an attachment, kind of. It
Yeah,
reminds me of
That
attachment.
is what that is.
yeah,
Yeah, that's exactly what
yeah.
that is.
Yeah.
People, you should never let someone make you happy. They should always add to your happiness because you need to be happy for in yourself, and that's what it
And you
sounds
also know
like
what happiness
where
truly
you're
is.
at.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
this goes
It's
back to the
good.
beginning of the conversation when I said how I believe a long distance relationship will build over time, will build a stronger bond because you still hold so much of your individuality when
Hmm.
in a long distance relationship because you don't have this person right here looking at you every day. You get to still keep a level of your own individuality
Yeah.
and you get to really still understand more about yourself. You know what I'm
I,
saying?
yeah.
Um,
I love that that you said that. That's one thing that we talked about. Um, we so I had a lot of peace in my life before I met her. You know what I'm saying? Even while homeless, I was
I
I,
know.
I was I could
We talk.
I've actually cried. I've actually cried tears of joy while homeless.
Yeah.
Tears bliss. I'm talking about gratitude. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? You know what I'm saying? That's where I was at. That's where I've been at. You know what I'm saying?
Man, let me tell y'all
Um,
something about this
but
kid, man. He's humble. And when he said he was humble, even when the door was open, he's like, nah, I got to go through this journey. I got to go through this.
mm, yeah,
I
something
remember that.
compelled me. Yeah, something compelled me to go back. And you know what's funny? There was a moment I was working this job at the gym just to get some money, man. And I hated working there, man. I did not like the way they operated. And I was cleaning up some weights off the floor, and I literally froze because everything in me told me like to just leave. I wanted to just go back to Houston. I'm not even gonna lie, man. I was like, man, I was so close to hitting you up, and it's like,
I
you know,
know.
like f this, man. I gotta get. I don't want to do this. But something was telling me, nah, you gotta stay. You gotta stay, man. You got stuff that you need to handle. So I stayed, despite like everything in me like wanting to just get out of there, man. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
also going back to what you were saying, you said something else about being individuals in the relationship. So that I love that about this relationship too, because we're allowed to be ourselves. We even had a talk one time. Um, man, I'd have to be very transparent with y'all about something. Uh, where do I go with that? So we had a talk about. Um, well, I'll start here. She We were talking about opening the relationship at one point, and the only reason that came up um, was because I was I wasn't struggling with like you know, intimacy, like, you know, sexual relationships, but I did have like, you know, urges that I I had to, you know, to work with. Like I had to, you know, figure out, you know what I'm saying? And
You mean you
yes,
have human? You was human.
yeah. I'm trying to
Yeah.
put it in a way that's, I ain't trying to be so I don't want to be so blunt, because I could be very blunt right now. I'm trying to keep it
Good.
like,
You
you
ain't. You
know.
don't have to give us.
You know what I'm saying? I could be like straight up, you just
We get it. We get it.
yeah. So she asked me, do you want to open the relationship up? And I thought about it, you know, for like maybe 10 seconds, and I was like, nah, I don't want to, because at the end of the day, what I have with her is so deep, I would never be fulfilled, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm the kind of person who've always strived for, I wanted like deep connections. Like I've never been like, you know, the one night stand kind of dude, even though I've had a whole phase before, but it wasn't to a point where I was just, you know, hooking up with like random people and stuff like that, you know. But
Mm-hmm.
it just, yeah, I would never be fulfilled in the same way. So I told her like, nah, man, and I think it just makes sense to just work, you know, for us to keep working, you know, with, you know, through everything, you know, all these challenges, and I learned how to actually overcome that challenge, because at the end of the day, like whatever we feel we lack is usually something that we're not fulfilled inside. There's
Yeah.
something inside that we're not feeling, that we haven't nourished, cultivated, developed.
Or simply put, haven't been honest to ourselves about.
Yeah, it's usually like, the answer is usually love. And you can, one of the great adventures about life is learning to love yourself in many ways, you know, and you're gonna come to a lot of experiences that will compel you to. It'll if you can get through whatever adversity, whatever, you know, trauma, if you can get through it, you're gonna learn to love yourself, you know, in a whole new way. She taught me how to work with myself, as far as like sexual energy, and I'm grateful that she had already done the work, because I would have, you know, I wouldn't have been able to like really, I would have struggled. I would have continued to struggle. You know what I'm saying? So if you get to know yourself in sexually, if you follow what I'm saying,
Yeah.
it sort of helps you overcome a lot of these. I'm going to say, like, you can overcome that. It's a great way to overcome lust. I will say that. But anyways, my whole point was, I'm grateful that we are allowed to be ourselves in a relationship. We have the freedom to be ourselves. We can walk away whenever we want. If we feel like this relationship is just not working, or we want to do something else, or we like see someone else that we choose to get to know, do it. Because I support her regardless. If she unconditionally, that's loving someone unconditionally. If that's what makes her happy, cool. You know what I'm saying? So that's how we are. You know, I allow her to be who she wants to be, and she chooses to be with me, and it's the same here. I choose to be with her.
That's what's
Yeah.
up.
Everything's about choices and decisions.
Yeah, man, it's beautiful. This is like an amazing. I'm not gonna lie, man. This is one of a kind right here, man.
Hey man, look,
Not everybody gets to experience this.
look,
Well,
listen.
and you know, and I've always said there's just one out there for you. Everything else is practice, and this how this fits in this way. You know is perfect. You understood what you need, what was missing, even some things you didn't know was missing. When it came, you saw where it fit, and that is essential. And that's your one, and that's what's up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
man.
when we all walk out these journeys in life, man, it's so crucial that like when Kaylin said about the being homeless, the homelessness at the time was a choice. You know what I'm saying, on certain things, because you knew where you needed to do to
Yeah.
get you to the point where you had to go. You had, you know what I'm saying. Sometimes we realize that we have things that we can do, but sometimes we gotta fall back on ourselves, and we have to recognize what you have, where you're at in life. It's no different than like when, you know, um, connecting with my old employee. That wasn't for you, but it took you to the level of where you needed to get you to the next level.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It opened your mind to a whole completely different thing, because the journey that you had to go to get where you had to get, you understood that journey was not going to be easy, but you didn't back down from it.
Yeah. You know what's funny? I've always been attracted to wisdom and philosophy, like from an early age. This is why I can have deep conversations all the time, because
Hmm.
it's a passion. There's a quote that
It's the art in you.
there's a quote that I came up with. I have nothing, but I have everything, and I came up with that during the time I was homeless. And what
Hey,
that
I'm gonna stop you for just a second. You never. Do you remember when you would call me and you'd be like, "Hey, what's going on?" And I say everything and nothing.
ah like full circle moment right there.
I don't think you put those two and two together. I always say
Nah,
everything and nothing.
yeah, yeah. It's so many layers to that too, though.
Oh, it
There's a lot
is.
of
Because
layers to that. Yeah,
It's so whoa.
because there's a spider web of ways to get to that understanding. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? And it's like it doesn't matter how you get there as long as you get there.
as
as you
long as you
get
get
there. So
there.
then that point, you can actually appreciate what you have. It's so funny you said that, because I was talking to a young lady and she said the same thing. And she was talking about possessions and money. And I said, yeah, but that's the thing. That's your only problem is you ain't got money. But look at
Ah,
everything else you got. I mean,
wow.
you got your health. He was talking. Her father had a heart attack. And I said, but he's still here. And you're still, and yeah, you might have been, had a flat tire, but you still were able to get to work. I mean, so you could look at things, because what you focus on expands. So if you continue to look at the negative and what you don't have, as opposed to being appreciative for what you do have, then what you don't have will continue to expand. So good for you that you learned that right up front, because as long as you get another day, baby, you got another opportunity.
Yeah, I
And
got another
and that's
story.
what's up. You got That's it.
What
Yo,
you got?
so all right, so around the time I was sleeping in my car for a little bit, and I enrolled myself into a data center tech course. I got in for free. I was eligible. I mean, obviously, with no money, they supply you. So, um, the last week before graduation, I got my car impounded. I was driving. I was riding dirty, driving around with no insurance. And
Hmm.
what I didn't know was the police have ALPS scanners, automatic license plate scanners
Yes.
on their cars, and they're also on the poles in the streets.
Yes.
And they can like literally, like, it'll scan every license plate, and they have a computer in their car that it automatically like loads up in their system. So they got me when I was riding with Marquise, and I didn't know why they pulled up behind me. I was like, yo, what? Because I was coming up, there was no cops behind me. I got to an intersection. I was riding right by a police station though, and a cop was coming out at the stoplight on the left side of the intersection from where I was. The lights came on. When our lights turned green, I started driving, and he like flashed his lights for everybody to go, and he just got behind me. He waited for me to go. He got behind me. I was like, yo, what did I wasn't speeding, nothing. And he got me. He said, hey, your license plays it. I got hit for expired license, no insurance, and no registration. All three of those. So so I had to, needless to say, I had to step out the car. He had to impound the vehicle. Um, I actually found some really, really quick insurance the following week. But before I could even, you know, get to that, I was really, really, really like, like, man, I felt so shitty, man. Like I was,
You felt defeated.
yes, I felt defeated. Like, cause I was already trying to, you know, of course I shouldn't have been driving around like that. You know what I'm saying? But, I was trying to do what I could, and I was trying to finish out the class. I had 1 week left. I was gonna get a job, you know, in the field I was studying, and that's all I had, 1 week. So, I remember walking. I had to that same day, later that day. My mom picked me up and you know took me back, you know, to where I was staying. I had to walk to Publix to see if I can get something done, like through the kiosk, to see if I can do anything done about my registration. On the way to Publix, I was talking to Julie, and I was like saying all kind of stuff that I didn't really mean, and I was like, you know, like F it, I don't even care about, you know, I don't even care about this shit no more, man. Like this, you know, I was saying all kind of shit, and she's, yeah, man, and she was like, you know, be careful what you say, because you don't want to say anything that you might regret and that you might manifest into your life, and I was like, okay, you're right, and I shifted my mindset by saying, like, you know what, I can at least change my situation. I still have the opportunity to do that. I'm still healthy, you know, I can walk to the store. I'm good. You know, I'm grateful for that at least. And you know what happened? The moment I said that, I'm not even playing. Like I saw like, I happened to look in the grass. There was two $20 bills laying in the grass. And I was like, yo, I flipped out. I was like, yo, there's just money here. And I picked the 20s up, and in my peripheral vision, I saw another bill. And I was like, yo, there's another one. And then in my peripheral, I saw another bit, and they just kept popping up. They just kept popping up. And I was like, yo, there's just money out here. Just somebody just dropped money. And I was like, my whole like spirit just changed, like shifted completely. Like I was happy. Like I was like, and I almost felt like the universe was playing with me.
The universe is not playing with you. That's a very real thing, because it's like, this is what I was saying earlier today to one of my agents and stuff too. As a matter of fact, it was going on. She said, well, I'm trying to go through and get this list. And I said, well, if you try, no, I want to get it. I'm gonna say, but that's gonna be light. But when you focus on it and get that, she came in and she got that. I said, you'll get this listing by the 18th. And then she went right on in and she got it the same day. So that is so powerful. And then scripture does back that up too. That's Mark 11:24. So when you shift what you're thinking and put that energy to you, that's it. And that's really the thing. Affirmations, definitely. I'm definitely big on that and speaking the word. And that's why, people kind of see the power, but that's where it comes from. Yeah. So again, good for you. Those are another keys to success. You can always look at what you don't have, but when you don't, just remember, whatever you focus on, that's what is going to expand.
Yeah. And you know,
manifestation.
Yeah, and even when I didn't have a car, I still found ways to create joy in my life. Even if it didn't make sense to other people, it made sense to me. I would find some grass somewhere, and I go dancing in the grass, and I look at the trees, and I smile, and I'd be grateful for being able for having the opportunity to even like be here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just celebrate life.
Anyway, so dancing that grass is good.
Yeah.
That's grounding. Yeah, so that's what that means. It's grounding.
I spent a lot of time out there.
Negative energy.
Yeah. I spent.
Well, like I said,
would spend hours.
What's your name? What's your name again?
Oh,
what's your name again? Kaylin. It was a pleasure. Kate with a T. Kaylin with a T.
Yes, ma'am.
No T.
Kaylin.
Okay, Kaylin.
K.
Right. All right, Kaylin. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm right. Oh, Kaylin. Okay, cool. Well, Kaylin, it was a pleasure, without question. Like I said, meeting you. I'm here at my spot here now. So I gotta go upstairs here. But like I said, blessings. You all Godmother proof. That's not easy to do. Okay.
Thank you
And I
so
look
much.
forward to, like I said here. No, I mean, thank you. It's good to talk to children that aren't knuckleheads, because a lot of times, a lot of them are. But you definitely seem to be very well rounded. You found the essential thing, so it's only up from there. And again, no matter how far you ever, if you fall again, and you will, because that's just what it is. But at the end of the day, you'll never ever hit the ground, because you got your idea is right. And when we go through things, just like working out, that's to build us and build us muscle, make us strong for the time that we have to go through. So it's good that you were smart enough to embrace even when you were struggling. So
Yeah, yeah.
at this point, you become really, really powerful. So good for you, and good for you, Marlon and Mrs. Bowers. I appreciate y'all. Y'all got a really good tribe there going on by this young man, and like I said, great things. That's what's up. So I was glad to be a part of the conversation on this evening. The godmother
I
does have to
appreciate you,
go though, because I
Godmother.
have things to do. Yep, y'all welcome.
Well,
But
make sure you
but again, just
unfollow and
let me
follow me
down and
back.
think there's some. Oh, okay. Let me do that right now. Even though I have to do it 3 or 4 times before it shows for whatever reason, but
Mm-hmm.
um,
33. You got anything else you want to add, brother? He might be in another position.
no, he don't pay attention more. Yeah, but this, just
Leave my man's
let me
alone.
down. Good night, y'all.
All right, good
All right,
night.
I'm gonna let you down. All right. Um,
I didn't trouble.
you got anything you want to add before we jump?
Who you talking about?
Let me see. All right. Anybody got anything else they want to add? Now, Crystal did say, write your vision and make it plain. You have not because you ask not. I don't know if she has anything she want to add before I drop her down. You got anything else, Crystal?
Well, you already know me. When it comes to God, I'm going to speak on that. I'm going to always say what thus says the Lord. And if you can't, accept that, then it is what it is. I can care less about that. But I do want to say, with the conversation, hearing him speak about his relationship and everything, it sound good now. I can't say that it sound good. And may that type of love find me. Look, it must be something about them German, because you remember the guy I was talking about earlier that
Yeah, he was in
yeah, my
Germany. Yeah.
fiance, he married a German girl. I mean, he was in the he was in the military and married a German female. But so I'm like, okay, is this something about them? Look, because you know how it is when it's different places, they raise different.
Yeah.
They got a different type of, I don't know. But yeah, may that type of love find me. But he do sound like he have a really good head on his shoulder, and you can definitely tell that he was raised right. So, the good, I can't say good for everyone that played a part in that, and in raising him and how he turned out. You turned out to be, I can just tell just by how you was speaking and some of the topics that you spoke on, even when it comes to intellectual conversations. I can't say that I was one of those who used to look up different types of things concerning the third eye, but also when it came to that melon, boy, that's a whole nother topic. Like it
Yeah,
go deep. It go
yeah,
deep. So I
yeah,
can understand what he was saying when it comes to that.
yeah.
But
It's yeah.
I can't say, yeah, he was definitely raised right. Y'all did y'all thing on that. And once again, may this type of love find me. I'm speaking life. I'm speaking life.
Speaking into existence.
Yeah,
Hey, it was nice meeting you, nice talking with you, and yeah, y'all have a nice night.
All
thank
right,
you.
cool,
Nice meeting
Crystal. I'm
you.
gonna drop you down, Crystal, so you keep all your coins. All right.
Okay.
What's the coin thing?
So basically, when everybody give you gifts, if I drop them down, then they keep all their gifts. But a lot of times, if you just leave, then you lose all your gifts. So your gifts actually put
Uh,
into your tally and everything. It's TikTok, man.
I got you.
Um, and matter of fact, what I have to get you to do is actually when you click on me, unfollow me, follow me back, and then up to the right by my name, you see the heart me where it says join.
Yeah, I see that.
Grab your daily heart me.
But I need to unfollow you first, though. You said,
Yeah, unfollow me and then follow me back. Big guy, you still there, brother?
and then hit join.
Yep. All right. I think big guy is occupied. Anybody in the comment section want to give anything to Kaylin or anything? Anybody want to add anything? Cause yo, this is dope, man. Anybody want to drop some jewels to this young man?
I'm all ears.
You know, Coach Nikki, what's good? What's good? Um, I don't know how much you caught, but basically the whole topic for the night was on the 100 podcast. Is navigating a long distance relationship. Love across the miles. He's in that long distance relationship. His partner is in Germany. So, just encouragement, definitely, how you navigate that, because long distance relationship has a lot of challenges. Um, just to kind of recap on the topic, my points was the emotional realities of distance, trust, the backbone of the long distance relationship, communication, consistency, and intensity, keeping the romance alive, conflict without contact, the future talk of are we moving together towards each other, and the signs that it's working. It's pretty cut and dry. Those are the basic, things to kind of recognize when you're having that long distance relationship. I think one
Hmm.
of the biggest ones is understanding the emotional realities. I think
Hmm.
that's I think that is key. You know,
Hmm.
um, because long distance relationship is a unique landscape. It's not for everybody. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Hmm.
Um, Kaylin, you got anything, son? You got
I would,
anything? What's up?
um, when Krista was talking about, she said, "May that person find me." Is that what she said? Is that how she put it?
Yeah. In other
Something
words,
like that.
everything that you basically been saying, she's like, yo,
Yeah.
the quality. In other words, the qualities that you're exhibiting, she's needing that person to find her with those same type of qualities.
From what I from what I gather in my experience, that person does find you when you're not looking. In my experience, like the
May
the
that type of
the,
love find me.
the,
That's
the
what she said.
qualities the qualities that I want, I did work on those for myself, and at the same time, I ended up attracting that person without even
Mm.
without even looking for that person. You know what I'm saying?
You attract the person that you are being. That's
Hmm.
funny because me and Nisi say that all the time. We say you will attract what you put out.
Yeah,
And you have to be
yeah.
very careful about what you put out there because you can attract the wrong thing.
Well, and sometimes we do attract the wrong things for a reason too, though, because there's something about ourselves that we need to learn. We need to
Oh, absolutely.
so we're attracting this whatever kind of individual because there's something about us that we have not healed from, grown from, or whatever the case may be. It's something about you that you have to get to know,
Hmm.
and that needs attention. So
Yeah.
you're gonna attract all kinds of people, um, until you find out what that is. And once you do, you're gonna attract the person that is, you know, meant for you, you know, the person that is right for you, you know, because
Absolutely.
you've already, I mean, you've done the work.
And that's one of the biggest parts, man, is doing the work and
Oh,
recognizing it.
Crystal said it happens when the least expected. Yes, I didn't expect
Yeah.
to be in this relationship. I didn't even want a relationship. Didn't even want
Oh, I
one.
know.
It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense. I was like, why am I going to invest in a relationship? I'm in the trenches right now, bro. Like what?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Didn't
It's like
expect it at all.
when you was near, you was like, man, I'm not thinking about that right now.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just chilling.
Now look at me, caked
Now
up.
look at you.
Dang.
Caked up.
Yeah.
Hey man, it's a beautiful thing, man. Ain't nothing wrong with cake.
Nah, man. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
It is. I mean, look, you know me, man. I always keep it 100 with you, like the name of the podcast. I love it, and I'm here for it. You know, and honestly, this whole podcast, you know, I'm gonna upload it on my YouTube channel. It's definitely something you can share with Julie if you wanted to see it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, she gonna love that.
Yeah. I'm gonna upload it. I'll upload it later on tonight, man. Normally I would be back on tomorrow, but I'm not because tomorrow's our anniversary. So
Beautiful.
yeah, man.
Beautiful.
So we getting ghosts. You know what I'm saying? So man, anybody else got anything, man? Let me tell you, man, my panel and my people that's here understand they always dropping it, man, and I'm here for it. So I think now I'm gonna have to make a. I think I'm gonna have to switch up my topic I was gonna do next week because y'all said something and I never really. I mean I thought about it, but I never really just harped on it. But interracial relationship.
Oh.
I think now that's gonna be one of. I'm gonna make that the topic for next week is an interracial relationship. And I gotta get all my notes together for it. So as you see, I put together a lot of data, information, because I don't like to just walk into something. Yeah, that'll be next week.
Yeah, that's a
Interracial.
good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because I mean, the whole essence of what the 100 podcast is dating with a purpose, and because you know the end goal is for most people is dating with a purpose to get to the marriage. But a lot of that journey along the way is figuring out who you are, understanding that you're going to go through some challenges that's going to, you know, rear its head, and you got to figure out how you're going to navigate through it. Sometimes the journey that you got to walk is a journey that you got to walk through yourself. You know, I mean, it's understanding that we all have gone through some type of trauma, and you know, sometimes trauma bond. I had an episode. Trauma bonding sometimes work for some people. Sometimes it doesn't. It just depends on where you are at in that particular trauma. Where what level you're at. If it's in the beginning and you bonding with somebody in the beginning and you haven't even remotely started to heal, be careful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's a dangerous place to be.
That can get
You know
real slippery, man.
It's a slippery slope, man. So, but for anybody, I mean, you got anything else you want to add before we roll, man?
Me?
Yeah, anything you want to add? Big Guy. I don't know if Big Guy is back on here or not. I was trying to give him a little time because he usually drops something in the end most times.
Yeah.
But,
no, I just appreciate the opportunity to share my story. I like to talk about, you know.
Yeah.
I like to talk. I like to share. I mean, I spend a lot of time with myself, so you know what I'm saying, it's cool to be able to talk with people who can hear you, like receive you, you know, and also give back, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I value those moments and those opportunities. Also,
Crystal got one more question.
Oh, what's up? this is quality time for me, and quality time is like my number one love language.
Hey, and see, people will take quality time and think that, oh, quality time means I got to go and spend it in the physical form. But sometimes quality time can just be that time in yourself.
Oh,
Um,
that's oh well. The question
do
she
you feel
asked,
like they're less aggressive than our skin color?
and she means just Germans or Caucasian people in general.
Yeah. um,
So that whole thing, man, that a lot of that talk, in my opinion, comes from people who either aren't healed, people who have misaligning beliefs about connection or relationships with particular groups of people. I will say that there there can be some truth to what people say because of their experience. What they've experienced is what they see as their reality. So there's some truth to what people experience, of course. So you're gonna hear things like, okay, let's say black women are aggressive. Okay, from that person's perception, from their experience, they've only experienced aggressive black women. You know what I'm saying? Not black women who aren't aggressive. That's just been their experience. So not to say that they're wrong about it, but that's their truth. You know what I'm saying? Me,
hmm
I've seen aggressive black women. I've seen non-aggressive black women. I've, I've dated, really chill, down to earth, black women. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all kinds of people, man. It's all about, again, the things that you attract in your life. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how I see it. Uh,
it's a whole conversation for another
yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah,
we,
yeah.
we can go down this rabbit hole, and we're not
Yeah,
going
that's
down that rabbit hole tonight.
yeah, yeah,
We'll go down that next week.
yeah.
So,
It's all about the
um,
energy, though. At the end of the day, it's just about the
yeah,
energy. That's
yeah,
it. It's just the energy.
yeah.
That's it.
It's a
It's just
decision,
that's it.
to each his own. You
Yeah.
know,
It don't matter what the color is. It's just the energy.
yeah,
That's it. When your
no doubt,
thoughts, ideals, and beliefs align, that's a connection right there. That's all that matters
absolutely.
at the end of the day. You see?
All right, let's see. One more time. Big guy, is you there? Are you there? Are you there? I don't think you're there. But
All right.
you know, as my slogan says, I'm not a therapist. I'm just a guy who's been through some things. As my T-shirt says, this is my T-shirt. I'm not a therapist. I'm
I
just a
love
guy
it.
who's been through some things. So,
Yeah.
um, man, I appreciate you jumping on. And
Yeah.
let's
Thanks
see,
for
I'm gonna
having me.
drop. Yeah, absolutely. Let me drop Big Guy down because I think he must be probably fell asleep. I don't know. Um, yeah, man. Anytime, Wednesdays and Thursdays. Like I said, I won't be on tomorrow. Tomorrow's our anniversary, so
Where y'all going? Or
we just gonna do a staycation, man.
oh, okay.
Staycation and just keep our connection with each other. That's it.
That's dope.
Love on each
That's
other.
dope. Do your famous like chef, cuisine at the crib or what?
Nah, actually, man, I'm gonna let somebody else cook.
All
I'm gonna let
right.
somebody else cook on this one, man.
Who gonna cook
We're
at the house?
gonna
Who got the cooking skill? Who else got the cooking skill at the house?
nobody. That's why we ain't gonna be at the house.
Oh, you said
We're gonna
staycation.
go
I'm
and let
thinking y'all
somebody do
gonna
the
be.
restaurant. I'm gonna go pay for convenience.
Oh, got you. All right.
Yeah,
Cause I
yeah. We're
know ain't
gonna we're gonna
nobody.
check out a couple.
There's nobody at the house cooking like you, bro. So
No.
nah. I was like, who's gonna make dinner? Like,
Hey,
yeah,
nobody. It's like Keith
yeah.
Sweat. Nobody. um,
All
yeah,
right,
man.
man. Well, that's awesome,
Um,
man.
yeah, man. Just a little staycation. We're gonna go. So apparently, there's a castle in Texas, about an hour or so away. So we're gonna go see this castle and
A
check
castle.
it out. a castle, an actual castle, moat, like an actual old castle that was built many
Wow.
years. So,
Interesting.
yeah, we're gonna check that out, man, and do some other stuff. So, but man, look,
Man,
I appreciate everybody's support. Make sure you guys are sharing this out, liking, sharing. I appreciate all the support. You know what I mean? And we'll catch everybody. We'll catch everybody on the next go round.
all right. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. We'll
Appreciate
talk.
you, Pops.
All
Yes,
right.
sir. All
Yes,
right.
sir. Peace.
Peace.